Yeah, I think it's a pain in the ass, but my wife likes it, so what the fuck?
Women like it.
Yeah.
You'll suggest it. It's weird. They don't like filth. And they want fucking chickens.
Yeah.
They don't like a mess, but they want chickens.
Chicken shit everywhere.
Yeah.
They shit literally everywhere. And are you rolling? And then
it's fantastic fertilizer. Dynamic lifter. There's a guy in Australia made a lot of money just off chicken shit. It's like the best fertilizer in the world.
I've been trying to write a joke about chicken shit because it's everywhere. And the joke I've always thought, I guess you have to have chickens to get it, is despite what popular belief, chicken shit's not afraid of anything.
Right. Someone's chicken shit. Yeah.
There's so much.
What are you, chicken shit?
Yeah.
The most dangerous stuff in the world.
I have this obsession with hosing down my back because the chickens, Leanne keeps them in the house. When it gets too hot, she lets them go in the house. Yeah.
Why?
My wife's a redneck.
Yeah. That's
By the way, we could be Australian. Like I feel like Australians have that there's a redneck-esque to Australians.
An esque? Fucking hell, we do white trash better than anybody.
I fucking love Australia.
Yeah.
I love Australia.
Was that your first trip?
Second. I just love. You
go out there with Andrew? Who do you go out with?
Seb.
It's a different promoter.
Seb's dad, I think, runs it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
You weren't big in Australia.
Well, I didn't start. I did start in Australia. I started in Australia in the sense that I did comedy for 14 months. Yeah. And then I moved to England. So it's like I was an open micer who had a couple of paid gigs, moved to England more because I was at that age, I was 21 or 2. I was 22. And it was, I just wanted to see the world. And there's a lot of Australian and Canadian comics in the UK because we all get a 2-year work visa if you're between 20 and 27.
Really?
Yeah, you're allowed to go out there for 2 years and just work. And it's reciprocal. They can come to Australia and they can go. Anyone who's in the Commonwealth can do that. Americans can't do that. So, you go for 2 years. I was never a citizen or anything. I lived out there for 10 years. I just kept on getting work permits after work permit. And the work permits used to only be as long as I had gigs. So I couldn't take a month off in those 10 years because they would have sent me home.
Oh, you had to work nonstop.
Yeah. I had to keep working or my permits would run out. They'd give you 3 months at a time. And so... and then you had to be out of the country for at least a month a year to do some international work or something. But that sort of happened naturally. Yeah. You'd go off to Ireland or some shit for a week. Yeah. That would be pretty easy to do. No, I started, and then I started out in Britain, and then I came over to America and did whatever I've done here. And then I now I go back to Australia, I do arenas, and this happened in like the last 3 years.
You do massive...
I do where they hold the Australian Open.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They sold out the fucking Rod Laver Arena.
Is there any connection? Because you spent so much time in Britain, is there any connection when you go back to Australia of like coming home? Or do you...
Yeah, no, they're definitely very supportive. The media's never been super supportive of me over there.
The media hates me over there.
Yeah, the media over there is... There's something about Australians, we're all meant to be told we're laid back and we're knock around and we're these fun sort of people. Yeah. But then the media is pretentious as fuck. Yeah. If you're not a comedian who's a bit whimsical and doing things and making a big point and crying at the end of the show, and you know what I'm fucking talking about, right? Yeah. They will fucking they will go after you.
Oh, that's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got lit up by the Project. The Project, and they fucking, some old guy went after me, and then it was all over the media and Australia, but it helps sell tickets.
Oh no, the public doesn't give a fuck.
That's the most fucking. I want to talk to you about that, but
the public are our reputation. The reputation of Australia is true.
Yeah.
Right? We are that bunch of fucking slightly sort of off-kilt, sort of blue humory type of mildly bigoted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Australia's fucking... Growing up in Australia is funny. Like, I love Australia. I still call Australia home. And, I go back at least once a year for a month. And... it's a fantastic place, but it's funny, a little country with 20 million people, and they really do think it's the center of the world. I remember when 9/11 happened. I can remember when 9/11 happened because that was... Okay, so I know exactly when I moved to England, because I went to England on September 12th.
The day after 9/11?
The day after 9/11. They were still flying internationally.
Yeah.
But I was watching the Twin Towers fall as I was packing my bags like I'm on my big adventure. I'd moved. I was living in college. I moved back with my parents for the last month to save up money. Mm-hmm. I was in my old bedroom with a single bed, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like packing all me stuff up in me with old posters of rugby league players on the wall, right? And then it was like 9-10 p.m. or something in Australia. It was late at night, you know, with the time difference. And I remember I waking my parents like the trade center's been hit with planes, and we'll watch it in the morning. Okay.
Shut up.
Because their brain didn't really, and we don't really know. I didn't know what the World Trade Center was. I never heard that term before. I'd seen those two buildings on Friends, you know, when they did like that montage shot, but I'd never been.
This is going to really fuck up Friends.
You can tell which episodes are where. Like sometimes I do that with Friends. I go, which episode? Oh, this one's after 2001. Anyway, so I'd never seen the bill, and I watched them fall. And I remember going on my first international flight. I'd never left Australia at that stage. I'd never been outside of it. I was only 21 or something, 22, maybe 23. I don't fucking know. Or maybe I was 23. I don't know.
What was
I'm 42 now. I don't know what the maths are.
What was open mic Jim Jeffries like? Because I've always been curious. You splashed America so hard. I mean, I've never seen someone roll into a country and I'd say succeed. Obviously, you succeeded, but just steamrolled it.
How quickly did you succeed in Australia, though?
No. Very different. Very different.
Why is that different?
Very different, because I fucking was on a million podcasts, and I was like,
yeah, but I'd been on TV and I'd already had 2 specials in Britain and been on TV in the UK.
I'll tell you what,
I was already a theatre actor in the UK.
You were a testament to, like, I remember, I can see, I'm pretty good at picking out the tricks of the trade, right? Mm. But you came in. I saw you do Opie and Anthony one time. It was like fucking mesmerizing. I mean, it starts with you getting punched in the head video.
Well, that was 2000. The punch in the head was years and years before I got the England. But it's funny because my son's 6 and he's obsessed with fails. You know, the kids watch the fails on the YouTube. Right,
my daughters are the same fucking way.
Yeah, just watch this. I wake up in the morning. He's downstairs eating breakfast cereal, watching files before school. I'm like, remember when kids watch Sesame Street and learnt fucking letters and shit? The kid's behind and he's fucking reading and he's watching fails. This isn't helping.
Epic fails. It's interesting when the epic fail happens to them. It's not quite as funny.
Oh no, he just learned how to ride a bike. He fell over a few times. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I want to give up. You're like, all you do is
I'm never doing this again. I'm not living with you. I'm going to be homeless. Right? That's what he said. He's going to be homeless. I go, there's no TV if you're homeless. I'll find a way. Right? So anyway, my son, I'm having a shower. He's downstairs eating his breakfast cereal, and he runs up. He starts bashing on the glass, and he's just like, Dad, you're one of the fails.
For real?
Someone's put that punch in the head into one of those fail clips.
It was. I remember seeing it. I remember where I was, and I was like mesmerized. It was before the concept of viral videos. I stand by this statement until the day I die. You need something to go viral to start your career. And if you have a talent that goes next to it.
Yeah, you have to be able to back it up. Like Bill Burr had that thing in Philadelphia.
But oh my God, I've said this so many times. Bill Burr, Philadelphia. You with the punch in the head. And then I went and I saw a video of you. You were in Edinburgh. You were in front of the stage and you had a full pint. I've never wanted a beer more, but I've never seen someone where I couldn't find the trick of the trade. You casually did an hour. It seemed off the top of your head and it was fucking brilliant. And I was like, and I remember
that was the one where I did the commentary on the punch to the head, was it? Or?
I can't remember exactly, but I remember watching it going, oh my God, this guy's fucking legit. This guy's legit. And I was like, I literally was like, I'm gonna know who this guy is. And then you came over, did Opie and Anthony. It felt like, and I know this probably wasn't real, but it felt like the next week. I know it wasn't. And then when you were on Opie and Anthony, I was like blown away. I was like, God damn it, man, this guy's amazing on radio. He's doing all the shit I like about radio. And I was like, and I know for a fact he is a fucking top comic.
Thank you. I'm sure there's people right now writing underneath this saying what an asshole I am, but no. We're doing a show together.
We're doing a show together.
Doing a show together. People don't know this. No one can we announce it?
No, we can't announce it.
We can't announce it.
Not yet. They got to just wait for it. It's going to be fucking amazing.
We're doing a double headline, a big show in a city maybe near you, depending where you live.
Yeah.
We're only doing one.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. By the way, I have that whole weekend planned out. I'm like ready for that fucking weekend.
I've stopped drinking at work and anyway. I don't drink at gigs, and I don't drink after or before the TV show, and I don't drink but that weekend maybe. I know what's up the day afterwards. There's an event the day afterwards, and I can't hang out with Bert Kreischer and not drink on that
I'm thinking about taking mushrooms.
That's 100%.
I'm
that's what I want to do.
taking mushrooms.
Yeah. No,
I can't wait. My wife's coming. I mean, I'm like so fucking excited.
It's like the town to get mushrooms as well.
100%. If anyone can figure out where this is at.
Yeah.
But and so like I was.
We'll be high in two ways. I'm giving too many hints away.
Way too many. But I remember watching you in the same way I watched Bill going like, oh, this is gonna blow up, and you really just took off I felt so quickly in the US, but I was always curious because we were supposed to do a gig in South Africa together. Yeah. And I was always curious, like, what were you like as an open micer?
I was pretty I had a couple of religious jokes, a couple of hack sort of lines, a couple of fucking, have you ever noticed? My first shows, I had the microphone in the stand. Yeah. And I thought the words would do all the heavy lifting.
I had a spell of that.
Yeah. You go, you ever see those guys that I'm just going to sit on a stool and tell, and there's comics who have done it well. Mark Maron does it a lot.
Yeah, Mark Maron does it, yeah.
And, but you see the open micers who go, I'm going to be a stool guy. Oh. You got that much to say, have you, mate? You're that ready to go, are you? You're just a stool guy.
I've had a lot of those. I tried it all.
I tried a suit.
Oh.
I tried a whole, and then everyone thinks like the leather jacket thing is a thing that I sort of engineered, wearing these leathery shirt type of things. The reason for that was simple. Was when I was living in Britain, I had no money. I was, just making my rent with gigs every week, and I wanted an outfit that looked cool. And rather than buying a lot of clothes, I just bought one jacket I could wear every fucking day.
Yeah.
And this jacket, I still have it. It doesn't fit me. I keep it for sentimental reasons. And one day when I'm dying of some wasting disease, I'll wear it again.
On my deathbed. Yeah. Grab my jacket.
Grab my jacket. It's got holes. I wore through the armpits. The armpits are holes in them. Through sweat, wore through leather. Because I wear it somewhere. And it used to have it didn't smell individually, but once you wear it and the chemistry of my skin and the jacket came together, it fucking stinks. Oh. And I've still got it. It was from All Saints, and it cost me £129, and it was the fucking shit it was.
Was that the one you wore on your...
It was called a rock shirt.
Oh my God. When me and my buddy Wicho backpacked through Europe, we backpacked with this guy from Australia. I wish I knew where he was now. His name was Andy, and he bought a leather shirt. Yeah, and we were like, that's such an interesting purchase. In Florida, you would never have a reason for anything leather ever.
In Britain, all day you can wear these fucking things.
Were you kind of like? Were you? The kind like there are guys that worked the scene, knew a lot of people, knew all the bookers, knew all the agents, or were you like a back?
No, I believe that like everyone has that graduating class of friends. You all have like. It was hard for me when I first came to America to make friends because they sort of put me straight into a headline spot. And so I didn't, the only people I had was a couple of open micers or some openers in each town that I went to. So incidentally, I have a lot of friends across America now who are guys who open up for me or girls who open up for me over the course of that time. But like most of my friends were all the guys that I started out doing open mics with. You know what I mean? You have that little group, and then some of you rise up, and some of you don't, and some of you fucking die of drugs and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But I have more in common with that group of guys in Britain than I do with most American comics.
Who's that group? Steve Hughes in that group?
Steve Hughes is in that group.
Steve Hughes, one of my favorites.
Steve Hughes, Glenn Wall, fucking
I know Glenn Wall.
Jason John Whitehead, Andrew Maxwell's one of my best mates. There was Ed Byrne. There was a whole.
Ed Byrne, Irish guy.
Yeah.
Did coke with Ed Byrne.
I can't. He's a good family man. He's got some kids, and I don't know if he's ever done that.
Oh yeah. That was your whole. That's interesting because you do identify so much with your starting class.
Yeah.
That when you are a transplant, you come over here. Like you literally, it's almost like being a track star who gets put in as a wide receiver on a football team. You're like fast as shit. You can play with everyone else, but you never really played the sport the way they're playing it. And you're like, I do something totally different than you guys do, and I'm but I'm doing it at a faster pace than people that would be in my class.
But now I have like the guys. It becomes a weird thing when you become like a theatre act where you take your mates along with you, but then there is that small shift where you're employing friends. I feel a little bit like Elvis some of the time. Like, you know, like Elvis must have had that moment with the Memphis Mafia. He was like, hey, man, I don't need you to, you just free up your time and you hang out with me and don't worry about it. And then it's like, hey, Elvis, why don't you shut the fuck up? All right, well, he's not around the next day.
It gets so tricky, though, employing friends. It really does. And
sometimes you have to fire them. And I always say, like, especially with like the TV show, you bring in writers and stuff like that, it's not always up to me. Sometimes up to the network or the showrunner or whatever. I have a vote, you know what I mean? But like keeping your show on the air is tricky business, man.
It's fucking exhausting.
It's hard business. There's a lot of like, okay, they want you to do this, they want you to do that, and then they go, maybe you should freshen up the writer's room or what have you. And I've found this on a couple of TV shows now. And then, when you freshen up a writer, sometimes you have to get rid of someone you like, and they don't take it well. And you're like, it's not personal. I really don't. This is coming from above me. Yeah. But it is what it is. But as for in America, I Forrest Shaw. Right? Me and Forrest hang out a lot.
One of my favorite human beings alive.
Forrest is the best.
He's the best.
The best.
He's got the blackest name for the whitest guy in the world.
Yeah. Forrest Shaw. He's got a real well. He's always like, there's always like when he dates girls, he goes, I like her. She's a cool girl. She massages my feet. They're always massaging his feet. There's something about it.
I'm always shocked he gets pussy. Like always shocked.
He smashes.
He gets so much pussy.
He smashes with the women.
He was dating literally one of the hottest girls I'd ever seen do stand-up, Lisa Correo.
Lisa Correo
was gorgeous.
And the nicest person in the world.
Like, Lisa, so out of his league.
Lisa's way out of most of our leagues.
Most of our leagues.
And Lisa's out of his, and she's super sweet. Lisa's mother, and I'm not saying anything, I'm her mother's favorite comedian by a mile. And since Forrest has broken up, and her mother's just this little tiny lady who's an accountant. I think she's a Christian and everything, but for some reason she's taken to me. And Lisa still comes to the gigs, like they're broken up, but still comes to the gigs where Forrest is to come and fucking, because the mum wants to come and visit me.
Yeah.
I hang out with her. They're nice ladies. But Lisa, when she broke up with Forrest, she said, the distance is too far apart.
Yeah.
Then she started dating a fucking astronaut. Forrest does a bit on it, so I don't want to, like, obviously that's a little bit of the gag, but she started dating an astronaut.
Forrest is of a great group of comics all out of Miami.
Yeah. And, Al Jackson,
Have you ever partied with Al Jackson?
I have.
My God.
I got Al apart and legit that, Al's like when me, Forrest, and Al really hit it hard with the drinking, and all three of us are slowing down now. We all call each other and sort of go, how are you doing? You're all right? How you? And then we all bullshit each other. Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling refreshed. Being sober is the new high.
I'm going through that this month.
But Al Jackson. So Forrest, and I'm sure he started talking. His mother passed a few weeks ago.
We did a benefit for the disease. She
had cancer of the blood or something. His mother was very nice. Like my mother passed 8 months ago. No, 2 months ago. Sorry.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, my mother passed 2 months ago, and then his mother passed a couple of weeks ago. And so me and him have been going through. We're having a lot of mum chats at the moment. We're just like, how you going? Every day we call each other. It's very sweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My mother passing was, I think it's hard on anybody. It was, me and my mother had a very up and down relationship. She was very tough on me as a kid, but then we were all cool by the time she passed. But I remember, the way my mother passed was fucking crazy. It was insane. She fought with me, and I haven't talked. This is the first time I talked about this anyway, right? I don't know if you haven't asked.
No, I'm dying to know. Yeah.
But she had to go into a nursing home. She was falling. My parents are fairly right wing. They'd be Republicans.
Really?
My parents say, yeah. But they're Australian right wing. They don't understand what it means to be right wing in America. Like my parents would go, oh no, women should be able to choose abortions if they so wish. My parents believe in healthcare because they've grown up in a healthcare system. They believe in giving to the poor and housing for the homeless and all that type of stuff. They believe in all that type of stuff. But my dad likes the economics of someone like Trump, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But my parents don't. I don't think they ever got that. If they lived in America, my dad would be in debt $1 million in hospital bills because my mum used to pop off to the hospital just when she wasn't feeling well, and they'd let her stay there for a month on the Australian dime. Really? My mother, in the last year of her life, had 8 ambulance rides. 8. Right?
Really?
Because she'd fall and she couldn't get up. She was too fat, too old. She had polio as a kid. Her bones were broken, and she just didn't move. All she did was lay in a chair and watch TV, and her muscles had wasted away, and she couldn't support. And she'd fall over, and then the ambulance would come over, and they'd set her back up, and then they'd go, all right, we'll do this again, you know? And then sometimes they'd take her into rehab for like 3 weeks, and they'd work on her legs, and then they'd like this car that was beaten up, and they'd just tinker and tinker and tinker. It got to the stage where my father was, my mother would fall over in the hallway. She wouldn't want to get the ambulance. I don't want to get the ambulance because they'll take me away to the hospital. And she goes, my dad couldn't lift her up. And it's the middle of the night. He'd hear a bang in the hallway, right? And so what he'd do is in the morning, he'd get all the old fellas around the street, all these blokes that I knew, all the dads when I was growing up, they're all like 80 now. Yeah. They'd all come over, about 4 or 5 of them, and then fucking prop her back up. All right, Carolyn, we'll see you next week, right? They lifted her up. So what happened was me father started, when my mother was in the hallway, he's like, all right, we'll have to get you in the morning. He'd just throw her a pillow and a blanket, and she'd sleep in the hallway. Because there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. He can't lift her up. Yeah. Nothing. He's an old man. He can't fucking lift her. So he'd throw a pillow and a blanket. My brother, who's a cop, he goes, don't fucking give her a pillow and a blanket. He goes, because if she dies, you're going to prison because you didn't do anything and you gave her a pillow and a blanket.
Yeah, holy shit. So it's like, fucking poor dad's like, what the fuck am I
supposed to do?
Hold vigil next to her?
So I started going, oh, Mum, you have to go into a nursing home. This isn't a matter of me being a mean kid putting my mother in a nursing home. She just had to go. She needed full-time medical help. Even if my dad was fit, she had to go, you know. And I was going to pay for the whole thing. And I said, I'll pay for the whole lot. Don't worry about it and all this type of stuff. And there was a little bit of debate. She wanted one that had a lovely view and a park and a pool and a this and a that. And I'm like, going, you don't move now. Yeah. I'm not paying for the one with the extra pool. I'll buy you the one with the best food and the best nurses and the best cleanliness and the largest room. Like these are good options, right?
Yeah.
You don't need the fucking walking path. You don't walk anywhere. And I go, you need to be close to Dad because Dad's going to visit you every day. And so we fought for 6 months. Just, come on, you're going to go to a nursing home. You're going to go. And then my brothers and all that, my brothers still live in Australia, so they actually had to do the legwork. I was just doing the monetary side of it, you know? Yeah. Anyway, so we fought and she goes, and like a lot of these nursing homes, they were like, for the first month you have to share a room until a single room comes up, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, if I have to share a room with a person, I'll kill myself. And I'm like, why do you assume that you won't get along with this person? So this is about like, why is your assumption that will be hell? Maybe you'll make a friend.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
A friend. Give it a go.
Yeah.
You're 77. Give friendship a go.
Yeah.
She said, no, she won't share a room. So I was like, all right. So I go, okay, with some of these different places, she goes, I won't like that place. I won't like that place. I go, with Mum, with a lot of them, you can stay for a month and then, you know, if you like it, you can stay. And if you don't like that one, we'll move you to another one for a month until you find one that's a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Right? Come here. And I go, and she goes, okay, I'll do that. I go, now you understand that you're not just trialing the place, they're also trialing you.
Yeah.
So you got to keep your crazy down for a month. You have to be nice to the nurses and not say mean shit to people.
Yeah.
All right. So it got to the stage where I won't go to a nursing home, And then at the end, it was, okay, I'll go to a nursing home. The day she said she would go to a nursing home, the only way to get her over there and to get her moving and stuff was to get an ambulance.
Uh-huh.
So they rock up with an ambulance and they go, okay, fucking, all right, Carolyn, we'll get you right. And then she goes, I need to go to the bathroom first. She goes to the bathroom. She sits there, she does whatever, piss or shit or whatever she did. And then she goes to stand up on a walking frame and her fucking shin snaps out of the fucking bone. Bang. Like that, right? But anyone else would bleed out pretty quick in that situation of her age, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 ambos in the room. What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
Breaking your leg, unless you're in a big sporting event and there's an ambulance staying by.
Yeah.
Breaking your leg just in front of ambulance people.
Oh my God.
So they rush over, give her a fucking shot of adrenaline or a shot of morphine, right?
Yeah.
And she's passed out.
Yeah.
Right? Just fucking on heroin, basically. That's what something funny I found out about dying is, for most part, unless you die in an accident, we all die heroin addicts.
That is the thing. Let's make them comfortable.
Yeah. Everyone dies a smack addict in the end.
Yeah.
And so when you look at heroin addicts, just go, they're doing it a bit quicker, but it's the same men that we're all going to have.
Hospice is.
Yeah. The hospice is fucking smack. We're all on fentanyl and heroin and just like.
Don't worry, she's comfortable. We've got her loaded.
Yeah, we got
my grandmother. Yeah.
Yeah, we got her comfortable. We got her comfortable. So anyway, the ambulance came in. The 2 ambos couldn't lift her up because now she's a dead weight. She's just a dead body just laying there.
Can't.
They can't. The 2 ambos, they call in another ambo. 4 ambos can't get her up because normally she sort of rocks and leans into it, but she's they can't lift her, right?
Shut up.
Right? So then there's 2 ambos. Then they have to bring in the fire department. The fire department has 6 firemen on a truck. So now we've got 6 firemen, 4 ambulance people. There's blood all over the carpet. There's my dad going, bloody hell, this is going to be fucking hard to clean up. This is everywhere. And so they can make way. My mother had a lot of clutter around, not a hoarder as such, but they had a lot of stuff around. They just start ripping stuff out of the hallway, throwing it in the yard. And your dad's like, oh, fuck this.
Oh, my God. And your dad's realizing, I'm going to be a bachelor in a couple minutes. I'm going to be by myself in this house, cleaning all this up.
Yeah, cleaning all this up. Yeah. So what happened was, that was about 4 months ago that happened. She died about 2 months ago. That was maybe 5 months ago that happened, right? Yeah. And so they take her off in the ambulance. I get a phone call. She has to go into surgery. She may not live through the anesthesia. Just be prepared for that. And they reconstructed her leg and put pins in it, all type of stuff.
God.
And then they went, she lived through the surgery. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Good work. Yeah. Well done, Mum. Right? And then another month passes, and there's an infection on the leg, right? Oh, fuck. And so then they start giving her antibiotics. She lived through the infection in the leg.
Jesus.
It was going to take her 6 months to walk again, but I'm like, all right. They're still not been in the nursing home. Still not spent a minute, not a minute in the fucking nursing home, right? And then another time passes, and then they go, she's worried she's got fluid on the lungs. So they move on this bed that rocks like this to keep him, because it's laying still, gets the fluid. She's rocking like this.
Ralphie had that.
Yeah. And so they're trying to get the fluid off the lungs. Plus she's got the, and so they've just got intravenous antibiotics just going in and in and in. She's on morphine the whole time. She's having a whale of a time, man. She's on fucking morphine. It's great.
Yeah.
And then months pass, and then it's like everything's healed up. And I'm like, fucking, how did you make it through that? That's unbelievable. Getting the nursing home all set up, and then like 2 days before she's meant to be released to go off to the nursing home, they go, all the medication has killed her kidneys. Her kidneys are shut down and too old to go on dialysis or fucking get a transplant or something like that. And then they rang me and they went, 2 days. Right? And I thought she was fine. They went 2 days. And I was like, all right. So I got that phone call at 9 o'clock. I was on a flight at 11:30 straight out of, like straight to Australia. And I was there within 16 hours of getting the phone call. I was by her side. And then we just sat and held hands and cried, and then you just wait till it all ends, and you sit there for a final breath, and then it's very weird. Like at the end, there's a very odd sensation of they pass and everyone cries. I saw my father cry, and we all hugged, and everything. She had her last breath, she went, and then she stopped breathing, and we all burst into tears. And then I'm not kidding, like 20 seconds later, she went, and we all went, oh, fuck. Yeah. Like we weren't even there anymore. We were all standing off to the side. And we went, oh, and then everyone stops crying. And then she stops, and we go, better get a doctor in to check that was the last one.
Yeah.
We don't want to start crying, Yeah. And then you just sort of stand around and you go, there's a weird moment when you all just leave the room. You just go, there's nothing to be done here anymore. It's just a body, but you feel guilty as you're leaving. Like I should still stay with her, but it's just a body. So you just you just leave and you go down to the pub and you all chat. And then we went out for a favorite meal and fucking ate that, which was pork and plum sauce at this Chinese restaurant that she was fucking obsessed with. So we all had a plate of that.
How long did you stay in Australia?
Oh, because I always cried then. I stayed for another 2 weeks until the funeral, and then I came back. The weird thing was I haven't had 2.5 weeks off with no gigs, no interviews, no nothing, no podcast, no nothing. And the show had finished recording, and I actually, when I got the phone call about my mother, I actually had taken a bunch of edibles. And I said to my girlfriend, I said, I'm turning my phone off. And I went to turn my phone off, and that's when the text. I would have missed it otherwise. But I was tripping balls on that flight going over.
I bet you were. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the edibles just kicked in so I'd just taken them. So they kicked in like an hour's time.
Yeah.
And I was I going through airport security and everything. I was high as a kite.
Holy
and my
shit.
girlfriend, bless her, she came with me. She just jumped on the plane as well.
Did when you went to dinner, you have two brothers, right?
Oh, two brothers, yeah.
Cop and then a real estate
Cop
guy.
and like a real estate guy. Yeah, good memory. Yeah.
I have weird, like I remember things and then I picture scenarios, like and so like I have a visual of your brothers. I don't know why, but overlooking in like a high rise with a glass like fence, on the balcony.
Yeah.
Overlooking the Melbourne Bay or something. I don't know why.
Well, it's funny because in the TV show we've been doing, whenever we go to a different town, if we can't find a field piece that's funny to do about that city, because all the field pieces align with whatever gigs I'm doing and where I'm doing them. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
How rude of me.
No, don't worry about it.
Scam likely.
Dude, I've got a lot of those.
So I do the film, and sometimes when we can't find something, we just do a ride along with the cops, and they always come out really funny, and it's just showing the different policing in the different countries. We've got one coming out in a few episodes, which is a ride along in Sydney with my brother.
Really?
Yeah, and nothing happened on the trip. No crime happened, and we went into the heaviest. They drove us into the heaviest crimed area in the Hope, and just nothing happened that night. So it just became me and my brother niggling each other, and him just getting upset with me and telling me off and.
You're the youngest, right?
I'm the youngest, yeah. He's 7 years older than me, so it became...
And he's the oldest?
He's the oldest, yeah.
7 years older than you. Holy shit.
Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking, I'd like to have another kid, but it's like, obviously I'd be having a kid with two different women or, but I go, I'd like my child to have a sibling, but if I don't do it soon, it won't even fucking matter.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I don't know. I think it will. My youngest sister's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And we're really fucking close.
Right.
And so, and I actually would argue that I kind of helped raise her. Like when I went to college, she'd come up and stay for a month with me.
Right.
My parents were going through a divorce at the time. And they got back together. And so like we're really, really, really close, oddly enough.
That's weird. Getting divorced and getting back together.
Yeah.
Why? Well, it didn't stick?
I don't know.
They just loved each other?
Your parents? I wouldn't say that.
Your parents love each other?
I don't know.
Your parents still have sex?
Apparently, yeah. My mom, apparently there was a story that they were doing it.
That's how my mother broke a leg. That's the bit I kept out of the story. I just softened it a bit with the toilet routine.
Oh, no, my parents are 70.
Right.
And so about 70, 71. I think my mom just turned 71. And I think they still have sex. I can't imagine it.
So this is, I feel like in America, and you're from the mid something?
No, I'm from the South. I'm from Florida.
Florida. You're from Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course. Okay, so I feel like in America, everybody who I meet is like, oh, my mom's like is my age. They're like, oh, my mom's 63.
Yeah.
And it's like my mother had me at 35, and so I had a what by my age group was quite an old mother. But this next generation,
oh yeah,
holy fuck,
they're gonna have old fucking parents.
The parents in my kids' school are fucking old.
Yeah,
I'm like the young guy with a kid, like in Hollywood.
Yeah,
there's gonna be 20-year-olds going, oh, I gotta go to my dad's 80th.
100%. Bill Bert just had a kid. He's like 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rogan's got 2 kids. He's older. Segura.
Yeah, but he's going backwards in age.
Yeah, he's aging the opposite way.
He's got some protein drink that he's drinking that's making him younger.
Segura just had his second kid, and you know what's funny is we had a conversation, and this was like, we were talking about making money on the road, and I was like, yeah, I go, Georgia and Isla are like 15, 13. I go, give me like 5 more years of touring the way I'm touring right now, and I'm good. I'll be good. Yeah. I can really, literally, I'll tour hard, and then get them in college, and then I'll be fine. And Segura had this fucking wash of reality hit his face. He's like, I got to do this for 18 more years. And I was like, what? He goes, I got to tour like this for, oh my God. Like he was like, you could see the panic overwhelm him, like, fuck.
Well, not really. You can, if you invest your money right, you can make it do other things, buy property. And
yeah, but he doesn't have a brother that's a real estate investor.
No, I just buy property and want to be a fucking landlord. Me,
yeah,
let's fucking be a landlord.
I heard someone say the other day. I saw it in your special. You just bought the house next door.
I live at the house just a few doors down. I say next door for comedy purposes, but a few doors down. Yeah.
Do you have a problem spending money?
No, I don't believe I have a problem.
Meaning I have a problem buying things. I start to feel guilty.
I feel guilty buying myself nice things. Like I've got a few nice watches or whatever, you know what I mean? But I mean, I've got 2 cars. I don't need 2 cars. I got one that's a funner car and then one that's a more sensible car.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? But I don't I try to buy investment properties if I do something. Yeah, it's sort of my jam. I just, and they say that the market's going to crash or whatever. But I don't know what else to fucking do. Well, I tell you what, I don't like having a business manager and someone taking care of all my money. I feel like that's
interesting. You were talking to Tom Segura right there.
Yeah,
he does not. I need a business manager because I'm not good with money. I don't understand money. I can't wrap my head around it really.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you what I could afford or what I couldn't afford.
Right. Well, I just don't. I've heard too many stories of Bernie Madoff fucking guys, man.
Yeah.
It's like and they go, yeah, but you don't have to worry about what? They go, like, you shouldn't have to worry about paying your bills. It's like, I don't have extra bills.
Yeah.
Because I'm successful. I've got the same bills I had when I was poor, and no one fucking helped me then.
Yeah, you got a phone.
Yeah, the figure's a little higher because the electricity's gone up or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can write an extra 0. I'm not a fucking moron.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like my accountant, as I get more money, seems to charge me slightly more, and I'm like, but isn't the calculating the same? Like
is any different?
Is that hurting a lot more because you're doing that?
That was Segura's issue. He was like, he was doing the math, and I'm speaking out of school about Hannibal, but like I think both of them were like, as the more money I make, the more money they're getting for doing the exact same job. I should just cap them at one price point, and then both of them just were like, I'll just get a CPA and pay them.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm bad. Like we've been looking at to buy a new house for.
Where you want to move to?
Anywhere around here. Yes. Yeah, south of the boulevard.
Yeah.
All the way literally up to like Van Nuys.
Right.
Anywhere that it's good property, but we can't. I can't justify. I have a hard time justifying price points. Like I start saying like, I go back to this poor comic where I go.
Forrest always gets into me because he says that I've lost touch with simple things, right?
Yeah.
So how much is a gallon of milk?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
$150?
Yeah, I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea. My girlfriend goes, how much did you pay for those carrots? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just picked them up. I don't know.
I haven't. I mean, this is going to sound very, I understand people might be offended at this. I haven't really looked at a price tag.
Clothing you do.
Nope.
You don't?
No, but I remember I don't wear a shirt on stage, so I don't wear so I don't look at shirts. Like I buy t-shirts.
Oh no,
right?
I still feel good. I buy if I buy like a leather jacket and it's like $3,000 or something.
I don't have a leather jacket.
I've got so many leather jackets for the stage thing. I got a whole wardrobe of these fucking things.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I buy one and I go, that one there is for $200 is as good as that one there for. I still have that little mental leap.
Jeans, I go to Lucky. I know the exact kind of size 36, 32.
Yeah.
They're stretchy, so I can wear them on a plane. So I go to Nike. I buy a couple pairs of sweatpants. I know they're not going to be outrageous, but I don't look at the price and go, I'll get the cheaper ones. I want the ones that I like.
No. You want the feel best good. One. But you're not buying high-end fashion.
No, I don't buy high-end fashion at all. I don't really buy watches or anything. But when it comes to like a house, I start saying, I get back to this mentality of going, this could all go away. We got this house. Our nut in this house is nothing. I go, we're happy. Got the man cave. We redesigned it like we want it. What do I want more for? But then I go.
Well, I went up to a slightly bigger house after the breakup and all that type of stuff. But I lived in the hills and now I live in the flats and I'm sort of happier in the flats, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I can walk.
Yeah.
I can walk places in the hills. I didn't, like I had to Uber everywhere or drive or whatever. It was just a bit more of a pain in the ass. I like walking.
Yeah. I Uber a lot.
I Uber a lot, yeah. That's why I don't know why I bought another car, because I fucking just Uber everywhere.
We almost didn't buy a second car and just had me Uber everywhere because I literally, I don't think I enjoy driving.
Well, that's the thing is, like, you want to go down to the comedy store.
Yeah.
Parking in that parking store lot is a fucking nightmare. And then you got to get it back. And then by the time you pay for fuel and all that type of stuff, and then you're like, how much did I save? I don't know what I saved.
Yeah, I've never.
And also with kids, it used to be like when we were young, I want to get my license, I want to get my freedom. Now as a parent, I hope my kid never gets his fucking license. He just gets Uber. He's on my account and I see everywhere the cunt goes.
Yeah, I don't want my daughter driving at all.
Yeah, you just go, okay. And then you go, hey, free trips all around.
Yeah.
Just throw money at the problem. Just go, you can go wherever you want. But if I can go, you went there, because he won't be able to afford it. He'll be a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
And so like my parents were like, ring me when you get to your destination, because they were worried when we were like 16 and driving, we were going to have a car crash and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we were lying about our destinations. We were going one place where we were actually going to another place where there was fucking some girls or alcohol or whatever the fuck there was.
Yeah.
And my parents had like a thing for the first month of driving, we weren't allowed to leave our suburb. We were only allowed to go to different places. So up to me until we got sort of handy at driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
my brother lasted a day, and he fucking totaled a car in this place, this place where fucking, like when you're driving along Mulholland and there's one edge is a cliff,
yeah,
and one edge is a rock wall. He did one of those things like he was skidding off and he went, I could fall into the valley and die or smash into the rock wall. So he chose the rock wall smartly, But also you were in death traps. That's the funny thing is that you'd start driving and then they would put you in, you'd buy, my parents, I had to save up money working at McDonald's or what have you. And I bought a car for 400 Australian dollars, and it was my pride and joy. And it was $400, and I still have an element of pride that I had bought my own first car. And so, but the truth be told, it had fucking holes in the floor. Yeah. It was a fucking death trap.
Oh,
and so you're an inexperienced driver who might act like a dickhead in a death trap.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm in a car with I'm a safe driver, and I've got fucking 15 airbags around me.
I told my daughter, she's 15. She's like, I want to get a car. But I don't want to get a nice car. I don't want people to think that, like, I have money. And I was like, hold on, you're definitely getting a nice car. I'm not putting you in a piece of shit for your ego. Like, I'm not, go fuck yourself. And then, by the way, I'm going to get the car that I want to drive also. When we got 3 cars lined up and you're like, I need to go, and you take the last car in, I'm not getting you a...
It's cool that she doesn't want to be obsessed with having something flashy.
She is so anti anything, like... If I get recognized, she is appalled. She mocks anyone who recognizes me internally. As soon as they walk away, she trashes them. So who the fuck? I did a dance video yesterday.
My son in Disneyland, a couple of people stopped and took photos. And then when he was about 2 or 3, and we were staying there in Disneyland in a line, and he went up to a family that I could just tell by their nationality didn't know who I was, like a Polish family or something like this, and just went, would you like a photo with him as well? I think he must enjoy it. I'm like, no, not everyone wants a photo, just the people who ask.
My daughters hate it.
Really?
We were at Comic-Con, and it was...
I loved your Christmas card where the family all looked unhappy and you were just there without your shirt on.
That was my biggest... my biggest post on Instagram ever.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
When did the no shirt thing happen?
Probably I'm ballpark at about maybe 9 or 10 years ago.
Did you ever get to this point where you ever get to like you're doing a show at night and you think, I don't want to take my shirt off today? No. Or do you always want to take your shirt off?
I always want to take it off. I don't like one of my biggest stresses when I did comedy with a shirt was what shirt I would wear on stage that night. It used to fucking I'd put on 4 or 5 different shirts. I'd put on sweaters. I didn't know what to wear on stage. And then when I started taking my shirt off, I was like, oh, I don't have to. It was such a nice feeling to just grab any shirt and walk out the door.
And do you start shirtless?
No, I can't walk on stage with it.
Yeah, no, I always thought you had a shirt to begin with.
It's fun to take it off and then hear them cheer.
Yeah,
It's invigorating. Like, you'd be shocked.
Do you think you'll be doing it in your 80s?
Uh-huh.
You always have your shirt off.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I am so uncomfortable with a shirt on. You can see it you can see my body language change if I do stand up with this shirt on. You can see me just almost like shrivel.
I'd like to wear nicer clothes on stage, but the problem is I'm a bad packer. So the leather works for me and the jeans work for me because I just shove things. I'm not tidy. I can't make something look nice in a bag. And so I've tried taking suits out and stuff like that, or suit jackets, and I look even worse because everything's wrinkled.
Did you ever get a stylist?
The TV show has a stylist.
Yeah.
But I've never used one in my personal life.
You were a suit on the TV show.
Yeah. And so I the other day I went to a premiere of a movie and I got a stylist for that because my girl was getting dressed up and so we had the same movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You're friends with Brad Pitt. I forgot about that.
It's become a weird thing with me. Where
I love Brad Pitt more than any. He is the model man for me my entire life.
He is a great guy. The problem is he doesn't disappoint. He's just a really great guy. He's just really sweet and funny, and
he was great in that movie.
He's great in that. He's great in everything. But
how did you meet Brad Pitt?
It's sort of we got the same management, and then I heard around like my managers, they're like, Brad Pitt was in the office today and talking about you, and I'm like, you guys should hang out soon. I'm like, yeah, we fucking
fuck yes.
But now I can't. It's funny because I didn't bring that up just then, but it's weird now. With every interview, everyone asks me about Brad, and I'm like, people are fascinated by him. Well, he's fascinated. I've met other celebrities, but people are fascinated by him.
He's one of the last movie stars. What happened was, in my opinion, Hollywood would let you buy into somebody. When Brad Pitt showed up with Legends of the Fall and A River Runs Through It, he was subliminally branded to America as, this is your leading man.
Yeah.
That you've got him.
Yeah.
And the next one they tried to do it with was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. That was the next, but they were so flawed, and they try and almost it's like America lost the luster of it a little bit, but they never lost it with Brad Pitt.
I tell you what, when he's the weatherman on my show, when he did it, this is what okay, so we can talk about men being pigs and all that type of stuff, but the women, there was people that worked on my crew whose wives showed up.
Yeah.
Whose wives showed up. Could you imagine if, let's say, Gal Gadot becomes my weather person, and then all the female writers' husbands show up and start going,
that would be so fucking creepy.
It would be so creepy.
Oh, that would be so fucking creepy. Oh. I can't, Sebastian just hosted the VMAs, and they're like, oh, Bert, you would have been good at that. I was like, no, because I would have said such inappropriate things about Taylor Swift. Like,
I hosted one award show once, and I'll never do it again.
You'll never catch me.
The best thing hosting the Oscars, who has had a career boost from it?
No one.
The people who do it are already really fucking successful.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart wasn't going to sell more tickets because he did the Oscars. Chris Rock wasn't going to sell more tickets because he did the Oscars. It must be an ego thing for people where they just we all like a challenge.
Yeah.
We all like a challenge where you go and then to put a pin in something and to go, I did that. Yeah. But fuck me, there is no upside. There is no uptick. I basically got asked to do the correspondence. Like, I was asked if I was willing to do it. It wasn't an official offer. So if someone goes, we never offered it to him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got asked if I would do it.
Do what?
The correspondence dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
you'd have been great at that.
Well, this is the thing. You
would have been fucking really great at that.
And I don't think I'm saying anything else. I was actually with Michelle Wolf that night hanging out. And it was the first time I met her when the phone call came in. Because the phone call came in, I was in London. It came in late at night. It was the middle of the day here or what have you.
Yeah.
And I said, I went, geez, this correspondence dinner. I don't know if I don't know. I'll have a think about it. And then I said no like a week later.
Yeah.
And then like she was the next person they called.
That's
you know what I mean?
crazy.
So it was just a coincidence.
She had a career bump from doing that.
Yeah, I just, I maybe that's a different thing. Maybe that I just was chicken shit and didn't want to do that. But I just don't see me, especially being a storyteller as such. I'm good. I can do crowd work okay and all that sort of stuff. So, but I did an award show once for NME magazine, which is the oldest music magazine in the world. Is where Elton John advertised for a lyricist in the back of it. And the Beatles used to be in there in the 60s. You know what I mean? Like it's this old, and it still comes out, and it's sort of a big sort of magazine like that, like a newspaper almost. And they had some awards, and then they had the awards that air in Britain. Then they had some other awards that were going to be live streaming on MySpace when MySpace was the big thing. This is before I'd moved to America. I was flown out to do this with my first American gig, and it was at one of the El Rey Theater or something like that, one of those theaters, and it was like the fucking Killers were sitting in the front row, and fucking every rock star you could fucking think of.
I can guess how this went.
Terrible. And no one knew who I was, and they gave me like one rider or something like that, and I just tried to do a piffy intro for each person that came in. I had Sienna Miller started throwing ice cubes at me and yelling.
Really?
Halfway through. Fucking what's her name? Osborne. Kelly Osborne spat beer at me, took a sip of beer and went pff, like that while I was on stage. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? This was just like,
dude,
and Jane's Addiction got back together for the first time in over a decade. And they were the last thing they were going to perform. Jane's Addiction were going to perform. And I remember one time they go, I'm in the earpiece, and they're like, all right, everyone, it's a great night. Before we go, please welcome. They go, they're not ready yet. And I'm just like, this going, what the they're not ready. They're behind a curtain.
Yeah.
And so I'm just standing there. They're not ready yet. I go, fuck this. Everyone get up on your feet. Move forward. Like, I'm just buying time. I don't give a fuck if people have a mosh pit or something like that. Yeah. And I go, and then I hear in my ear, I got everyone for it. It took a couple of minutes, and they go, 30 more seconds. And you can see me audibly go like this. Well, they better be ready. Jane's Addiction. And I just fucking walk. I'm like, I'm out of there.
Oh, that's great. I hosted what's the thing that Polestar, Polestar does
yeah.
They asked me to host the Polestar events. And they're like, it'll be good. All the theater owners are there. They'll get to know you.
I think I won a Polestar. I think it was a Polestar Comic of the Month or some bullshit. I don't know.
Oh, it's pretty fucking fascinating.
This is a very industry thing.
It's very
industry. Like, people don't even know this magazine exists, but the industry, it's like their Bible is Polestar.
It tells you exact ticket sales,
how much money people are earning.
You can tell exactly how much money people are earning.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I got highlighted, and then one time they went, you're the 4th biggest selling comedian in America this month. And it's like, it all depends on whether Kevin Hart's touring or Amy Schumer's touring, or you know what I mean, or Bill's on the road.
It can really tell you who charges not enough for their shows.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of that, and who overcharges as well. Who overcharges. But yeah, back to the award thing, because who was the one? It was Michael Che and Colin Jost. And they got sort of bagged on, and it's like, they did what they do on their show.
Yeah.
This is what they do. They completely delivered on what they do. And it's like, and then people are like, all right, there's never anyone after you do an award show who write, fantastic, loved it.
Ricky Gervais, even when he went out and just roasted everybody,
they hated him.
And I thought it was great.
It was great. The only people, and this is what I think we should do from here on. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler should host fucking everything.
Everything.
They did such a good job. They're so funny. They're likable. It's good for everyone. Likes them. Yeah. They're funny. They're edgy. They're women. It's good. And I want to say they're women, so we won't have this whole, is it another white guy hosting a bloody thing or whatever?
Dude, you as a white guy, I think it's your responsibility to say, maybe you shouldn't look at me first.
Yeah.
Maybe you should look at someone of color.
Yeah.
And then once you say that, then you can host it. But you can't go, man, that's cool. I can't wait to do that. They're like, oh, another white guy taking a job. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I had a conversation with someone your name came up talking about almost somewhat of polarizing people to find your fans. Like in that, and that gun bit of yours is such a prolific bit.
I think you have to be polarizing to break through the noise. I think that, and never did that through design. I definitely did it in the few years when I started. I'm going to be so offensive, and I used to remember enjoying people walking out. And I'm not that guy anymore, but I used to remember going, I'm going to walk some people.
Yeah, you're someone who's consistently taking chances on left and right. You just like there was nothing off limits to you. And so I didn't.
And so I find that becomes like people when they start going, you have to see this guy, it's crazy or whatever like that. But also it can get a little bit lame if you just going out there, just women are whores and fuck these people and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. And you know you're joking, but some people don't know you're joking and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I believe to have people love you, you have to have people fucking hate you. There's very few. I can't pull it off. I can't make the world really like me. But there's very few people who can pull it off. And there's certain like Brad Pitt. Everyone likes Brad Pitt, right? And then, like Paul Rudd or something like that, where people are just like, all right, I guess this is someone we watch,
Sure. Ant-Man, okay.
Yeah, and comedians is like, you don't meet anyone who hates Kimmel.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just kind of like,
everyone likes Kimmel.
He's a nice guy.
Everyone, and that's probably the real juicy bit of entertainment to be that person.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. I don't think there's many people who hate you either. I think
I'm pretty likable.
You're a pretty likable sort of fella.
I sometimes think about that now as I write like my new hour. I watched Chappelle's special and he just leaned into it.
I love that special.
I loved it. I loved it.
And if you want to be a fucking dummy and go, there was something on Vice, give the Chappelle special a miss.
What happened to Vice?
Go fuck yourself.
What happened to Vice?
Don't tell people what they can and can't see. Let them watch and decide for themselves. And if they hate it, they hate it. If they like it, they like it.
I watched it in the pool, and then I watched it last night. I had a bottle of wine, and I watched it again. I want to see what it felt like with a buzz. There's times where I'm fucking laughing. I am laughing so fucking hysterically.
I don't watch many specials. I don't like to be too influenced by other people and then things you sort of seep in and, so I try to avoid watching other people's specials and not just jokes, just like fucking mannerisms and stuff. So I try not to watch, but I do watch every Chris Rock and every Dave Chappelle.
I watch Chris Rock. I watch Chappelle. I'll watch Eddie Murphy when that comes out.
I'll watch Eddie Murphy when it comes out. Yeah.
I watch you. I watch Rogan. I watch Tommy. I watch my friends.
I watch Bill as well.
I watch Bill's special coming out.
And I'll watch anyone who's like a close friend of mine. I'll check out their special,
I try to find out. I'll try to watch. Like I watch whoever's coming out. Like maybe not whoever, but I try to watch to make sure I'm writing originally.
Yeah.
Because like I have a gun bit.
Well, I don't watch it for that purpose, so I'm writing originally. Because otherwise, my brain just because I don't write things down. I'm too malleable. Like I try to.
But my fear is like a perfect example on my last special. I had a joke where it was a different joke than Segura's joke, but our punchlines were the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I got to get rid of mine, and I got to change it because mine comes out later. And so I'm glad I did that because I would hate for people to draw a comparison. Yeah. So I do that because I don't want to have.
Yeah, but you can't watch everything.
You can't watch everything. You got to watch the good people. Like when Chappelle's like, I bought a gun. I was like, okay, hold on. Fuck. Please say that we're different in this. And we were, thankfully.
Yeah. The Chappelle, when I watch Chappelle, I have a little bit that was similar to his. He does an Asian trapped in a black person. He goes, hello. And it's very funny, right? Yeah. But I was talking about the Zoll woman. And how is it different than being a transsexual? Like, we have to, if she says she's a black person, she identifies as a black person.
Rachel Dolezal, yeah.
I feel like we have to accept that. She was just mocked by everybody.
Everyone.
I think it's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
I also think it's crazy to not be, to be a man and want to be a woman, but that's because of my sensibilities. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it because I have not experienced that in any way.
I can't. There's a lot of things I can't understand.
I can't understand. I accept it and I support them.
Yeah.
I support them because they're adamant about it.
It's interesting is that across the board,
but do I think it's sensible? No, I think it's fucking, what are you doing? Right? Right?
I didn't hear Bruce Jenner transitioning and went, nah, that makes sense. I was like, Whoa.
Yeah. But I completely support and I completely accept. Accept. And the same with like even something as simple as being gay. You got to have empathy for people who have who have different avenues than you. You know what I mean? So I find that if we're going to go transsexuality, homosexuality, all these different sexuality, they're all fine. But then there's a person who identifies as being a different race, and we have to go, that's ludicrous. It seems ridiculous to me. Yeah. It seems fucking ridiculous. But who are we to? I slightly identify as British. I couldn't even get a fucking passport there.
Yeah.
I'm not a British citizen in any way, but I slightly identify. I'm Australian.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But you said when I was walking in that I walk like a British person.
I saw you walking down the street with your phone, looking at the addresses, and your arms were carried like you look like an older British man.
Yeah,
and I went, oh, God. I started laughing, and she goes, what? And I go, just look at Jim. My wife looked over, and you were on our neighbor's side. It was what made me laugh is that our neighbors only have about 20 feet of sidewalk, but you had found that sidewalk to walk on.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she goes, oh, he's lost. You need to go get him.
Oh, no, I figured out. What threw me was the odd and even numbers. I was on the wrong side of the road. I was going 6s and a 5.
It is crazy that there is a disconnect when it comes to accepting a man transitioning as a woman, but a white girl deciding that she's African American. Everyone slammed her.
Everyone slammed her. They slammed her on comedy shows. I think. But then have you seen the documentary?
Mm-mm.
The documentary is very interesting because
about Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching this today.
It's very interesting because she grew up surrounded by black siblings. Her parents were white.
Yeah.
They're very religious. They adopted a lot of black kids. And so she has sisters and brothers who are black people. And then when she emancipated herself from the parents who were abusive, there was little kids. She took it on herself to raise those children. So she had a black sister. She was raising black children. And then and she read up and she tried to raise them so they knew culturally what they were all about.
Yeah.
Right? So she did a lot of research. And then her brain shifted and she started. Now, where she falls down is, where she deserves every bit of abuse possible, is she started working in a black fucking organization when you're not black is like one step too far. But then started sending death threats with nooses and stuff. Okay, and Chappelle touches on this with Jesse Smollett, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to set up a hate crime about yourself, we're not doing the nooses. We're not doing the nooses.
Yeah.
No one's mailing nooses. No one, and it's like, and the black people, they know that as well. Chappelle talks about this, right?
Yeah.
There's no one there going, and then a white person sent me a noose. That's not, you're doing too much turn of the century shit there. Right?
Yeah. And it was still around his neck when the cop showed up. He hadn't taken it off. He had a Subway sandwich in his hand and a noose around his neck.
I don't even see people walking around in MAGA hats.
I haven't seen a MAGA hat.
I know they go to rallies.
Oh, I take that back. My daughter has a MAGA hat.
Ironically,
to
go with a beaten up car.
We were in Alabama about to go float a river, and I was like, Isla, you need a hat, and she saw it and grabbed it and put it on. She goes, I got my hat.
I was at a party at a guy's house who I knew was a sort of Republican sort of fella.
Yeah,
and in his office he had a pile of them, and I went, oh, all right.
Yeah,
you're not just a Republican, you're all in, boy.
Do you know what?
When you got the clothes.
Oh, can I tell you what I thought happened with Jefferies Smollett? And it's never come out, but I don't think it ever will come out. I think he got honey dicked by those two Nigerians. I think those two Nigerians, I think he wanted to fuck them.
Yeah.
And I think they played him and said, you know what you need to do? Do this. And I think he's weak. I think he's weak.
Oh, you think he got blackmailed?
Blackmailed or convinced by these two guys that he wanted to fuck, that he needed to do this, and he did it for them. I believe that. And I think that's why.
What did they get out of it?
I think they were
going to get some money or something.
They're going to probably get some money. They get some sort of I don't know. I don't know what I don't remember. My exact theories were somehow they would benefit from this. And so,
but you see, it's hard to know what was the benefit for him. Just a bit of extra press. He was going to get more acting job, or he was going to become a spokesperson.
I have no fucking idea,
because that would have hung over him his whole life. Just oh god, oh no.
I don't understand why, but I got to be honest with you. I personally knowing fucking problematic to even say what I was going to say, but knowing guys in the industry, men in the industry,
and
especially, gay men in the industry, they're just not fucking, that's not their brain set is to fucking try to.
You just say gays are dumb.
No, it's not dumb. I was gonna say it's just like it just doesn't seem like something someone in the industry would do.
Like they don't like women. How stupid is that?
Fucking
women are the best. Like
what the guys?
If you can't say that gay people are dumb, they don't like pussy. Who looks at tits and goes, not for me? No, that stupidity at its height.
I love tits so much.
Yeah, I'm not. I like asses. But I'm still a boob, man.
I'm a tit guy.
I'm a tit guy.
Across the board.
Yeah, I'm tits, yeah. And it's like tits have gone out of fashion.
Yeah.
Not with me.
I play with my wife's tits today.
Right.
I love them.
We have something in common. Acting like I couldn't find the house.
Oh, yeah. Where is this one at? Oh, that's fucking great. That is so. What's the relationship with your ex?
My ex is great. I go on holidays with my ex.
Yeah. I think Forrest told me you guys all went together.
I went with my girlfriend and my ex and my son on a Disney cruise. It's funny because my ex dates like this guy from Ivory Coast who was a professional footballer. He played in the World Cup for the Ivory Coast, right?
Really? Ivory Coast is Africa?
Africa, yeah. He's French educated, so he's like this big black French guy who's like this, right?
Yeah.
And my ex is, God bless her, my son does not lack for love, right?
Yeah.
My son gets hugged and kissed and all this all day and doted on, but she can't discipline for shit, right? Mm-hmm. But my girlfriend, who's English, who speaks very poshly.
Really?
Right? She's like Mary Poppins around the prick, right? Go upstairs, eat your vegetables, spit spot, right? Gets on that.
Yeah.
And he steps into line, man. He steps into line. And now I'm looking at it, right? I'm uncoordinated. I can't catch a ball. I'm the worst. And my son's showing a little bit of sporting prowess. And so I've delegated that work off to my ex's boyfriend. Because he's a professional athlete. And she started to delegate the discipline off to my girlfriend. And the two of us are sitting back watching this child being parented and drinking cocktails.
That's
and also my girlfriend's of Indian descent, so we paint a nice.
What a fucking.
We are a diversity higher wet dream. If they made a movie about us, we're a diverse group.
Is your girlfriend right now an actress?
She is, yeah. Tasie Lawrence, isn't it?
Tasie Lawrence?
Yeah.
Fucking Google her.
Tasie.
Tasie?
Yeah, Tasie Lawrence. She's a very sweet girl.
Oh, Pornhub just showed up on my thing. Like, that's the last thing I Googled.
That's where you have to Google.
She comes up right away. Oh, she's gorgeous. She's British?
She's British, Indian descent, yeah.
Wow. Can she cook Indian food?
She can cook. She's one of these people. Like, she's basically vegan. She still has eggs.
Really?
Right. Basically vegan, but she still cooks me every single meal that I request. It's very, very not the request. Yeah. She asked me what I want to eat. She makes.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
She makes all the different foods, and then occasionally, if she has a couple of beers in her, you might see her eating a slider behind a pole.
Oh, dude, my favorite is when you watch vegans or vegetarians break. We had our friend's a yoga teacher. She forced her husband to be vegan, and the husband would come out when we were grilling and just be like, "Give me a hot dog real quick," and just murder one behind her back. And then one day we had a big thing for the Girl Scouts here, and I made bacon on parchment paper, baked it perfect, and I'm walking through the kitchen. And she's wolfing down bacon. I was like,
"Oh, they do," and then they sometimes do this one. I've had vegetarian friends. They go, "You're throwing away. I'll eat it if you're going to throw it away."
Yeah. Oh my god.
And it's like, but there's some vegetarians that don't like the taste of meat. It disgusts them to have it in their mouth.
Yeah.
And there's like Phoebe and Friends was always like she put meat in her mouth and go, you know what I mean? Yeah. But most of them still lust after it. That's why the Beyond Meat and the Impossible Burger and all that stuff. And
that's why it's selling.
I bought some shares in that, man. That was the shit. That was the best investment at Beyond Burger. Fuck me,
dude. I didn't
buy a lot. I bought a few grand just as a little punt. Yeah. And then it tripled in price.
For real.
Yeah, it tripled in price. Then we got to like 5 times the price, and then I got rid of them, and this sort of went. That was.
Do you play with the stock market?
Not really, just a little bit on my phone. I don't have a guide doing. I have a guide in putting some very safe bets on.
Yeah.
But occasionally I just sort of go, oh, that sounds like a thing. And I remember I ate a Beyond Burger and thinking, this is pretty good. This Beyond Burger is pretty good. It's pretty plausible. It's not as good as meat, but it's the most plausible meat I've tasted yet. And then when they floated, I went, that's going to go. And now you go into like, I was in like that place Dog Hass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That hot dog place.
Yeah.
It's good hot dogs.
It's really good.
Really good hot dogs. But now they have the Beyond hot dog or the Impossible hot dog.
Dude, I'm in. I like that shit. I went vegan for like a stretch on tour just to see how long I can do it. We got Beyond Burgers. We smoked them. They were through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Oh, put them in a smoker. I'm sure now there was probably pig grease all over the smoker, but
yeah,
fuck.
no. I like a Beyond. I cook Beyond Burgers. My son, who's a picky eater, he eats Beyond Burgers and he doesn't eat. I have to stand over him while I eat vegetables. Eat another pea.
Yeah.
Eat it. Like the fight that he puts up, it's the risk reward isn't big enough.
Yeah. Oh. Do you work out?
Not in the last 6 months. I haven't. No, but
what's life?
I go through little patches.
Like doing what?
I might. I got like a Peloton bike in my house, and then I sometimes get a personal trainer for 6 months or something like that. But I with the passing of my mum, and then I wasn't before. I've just sort of I've gained a bit of weight and all that type of stuff. But I've just decided to just not stress myself out, man.
Yeah.
I've just been on a bit of a kick where. Like trying really hard not to give a fuck. And it is a good way to live, not giving a fuck. And it's, you know what I mean? And I can have patches where I do it because I always get, and I always worry about the career and worry about this and worry about that. And then just live in this whole, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's like, and I feel like even with TV shows and stuff like that, it's like, are you getting picked up? Are you getting canceled? I've definitely got it's been a good run on whatever project I've had. You know, if it doesn't work out, it's fine.
I hated that feeling in television. It's in part of the reason
It used to keep me up at nights. It used to keep me.
Being dependent. I would say things on podcasts, right? Smoke a joint on a podcast, and I'd be afraid I'd lose my gig, and it would fucking.
Even now, we did some jokes about someone might write something or whatever. But
this podcast especially is a pretty safe place.
I never used to give a fuck as a stand-up. I never used to give a fuck. That was one of my qualities. I never used to give a fuck, and then I started caring a little bit on TV. And then, like with Legit, I was so proud of that show, and I wanted it to keep going. And then when it got cancelled, I was devastated after that, right? And now with the show I've got now, I'm like, well, I'm doing my best.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I think I produce a funny show, and so it's our field pieces. I think when you compare us next to John Oliver and The Daily Show and Samantha Bee and whatever, I think my field pieces kick everyone else's ass. I'm the only one who does my own one, and I don't think we get enough sort of recognition for that. But if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. You can't fucking force people to watch the show. You can't This is why I love stand-up comedy, why I fucking love it. And this is why it's the best job in the fucking world. They can't cancel you.
No.
They can't cancel you. It's like on TV shows, they give you notes, right? I've never had a note for one of my stand-up specials.
No.
Never had a note about the script or dialogue or fucking jokes or fucking wardrobe or whatever or the set. I decide all of it, and they've all been successful. So you go, when I say successful, they've all done well. People have watched them, and then you know what I mean. And so they can't cancel you. You can get like to put it bluntly. Louis C.K.'s you can masturbate in front of as many people as you want, and you still get to do stand-up comedy. There'll be someone.
That should be a coffee mug.
There'll be somewhere. If you're good at it, there'll be a corner of a room somewhere where you can stand up and people will watch you fucking do it. You may not earn as much money as you used to. You may not, whatever. But they can stop you acting. They can stop you being a TV presenter.
Yeah,
they can
100%.
stop. They can stop all of it. They can't stop stand up. And that's why it's the coolest job in all of entertainment.
They're trying to stop Chappelle right now. Right now, they're trying to say what he said is. I mean, it's so funny too because when you read what people are writing, part of you is like, how did you hear it that way? Because I didn't hear it that way.
He was saying, he said, He said, whatever you've done in your entire life, I'm going to make sure that you go down and blah, 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 blah. And there's people like that. That is really a fucking thing. And then he goes, but if I say something like this, he was explaining the jokes that get you in trouble, saying these are the jokes that can get you in trouble, and then saying them afterwards. He wasn't saying them. I'm not saying he was apologetic about it, because he wasn't. Apologetic's not the right word, but he was fully explaining the whole thing that he was doing. He didn't just come out and just go, I'm an Asian woman inside a black man. Hello. He didn't just do that, right?
Yeah. He said,
and then he goes, what if I did that? Would that be funny? And the answer is, it is funny.
Yeah.
Is it right? No. And that's why it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny, because it's not right to do that, and you're not meant to fucking do that. No. And it's like, but it's not like it's going to become a regular character of his. Maybe it will. I don't fucking know.
He goes, I only do that when I fight with my wife. She's Asian. And you're like, I just find it. I
do find when you have a like, I don't know if having a girlfriend or a wife of a different race helps, because I dated a Persian girl, but that wasn't really sort of different enough, right? Yeah. And now I date an Indian girl. I'm like, do I get to do a few Indian jokes now? Is that, or can I say my wife's whatever? Or
I would. That's why
I don't know if it's
it's one of the things I respect about Bill. I don't think Bill's ever mentioned anywhere that his wife's black, ever.
No, I think people are sometimes taken back, but people are surprised by it.
I think they are,
because he's
so white.
Yeah,
he's so white. He's like. He is the first generation of what white people look like. Red hair.
Yeah. And he's
Angry.
Boston Mick type of a guy, you know?
He gets beat red.
Yeah.
He, and I think you're right. I think, had that been me, so my wife's black, I would have opened with that. Let me tell you about family reunions, huh? Like, I would be all over that. And Bill, and I'd say this in honestly, I don't think that even crosses Bill's mind. I don't think.
No, that's the best way to do it. But me, I'm not as good a man as Bill.
Oh,
I'm a lesser species. I'm all down in for it.
I won't have ever fucked his white chicks. I've never been out of.
Oh, you've never been outside? Oh no, I've done the whole rainbow.
Really?
Yeah. Well, if you could call a rainbow black to white and everything in between.
If you're colorblind, the rainbow.
It's quite a rainbow. Different shades of black to white.
Have you ever had sex with a Mexican chick?
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah, Hispanic women. Yeah, man.
For real?
Yeah. Plenty of Mexican chicks, actually. Yeah. I like
Asian?
I like a nice Latino. I have had sex with Asians, yeah. Yeah.
I've never had sex with. By the way, I have a premise that I've been fucking. It worked on stage at the store, but I think Asian women are probably far and beyond probably the hottest race of women. I think there's so many attractive Asian women that it's almost like a cheat code.
Well, yeah, but see, this is the thing with I don't know if this will come off as racist, but sometimes I see an Asian person go, that one's all right, and I have an Asian friend go, no, that one's no good. Oh, right. They have a special eye. Okay. They can see.
They see stuff we don't see.
I think they see stuff we don't see, because I'm always like, that Asian's hot, and like, no, not a good one.
Like almost like someone who goes to the auction every Saturday can tell you what's a good and bad car just from looking at it on stage.
We did all the field pieces in Asia, and then
where did you go in Asia?
We did field pieces we did it everywhere. We were in Korea, we were in Japan. We didn't go to China in the end, because China made me I had to give a script of my routine before I performed there. And I'm like, fuck you. But I went to Taipei, which is basically fucking China, you know, Taiwan. And what else did we go? Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Indonesia.
Okay, wow.
So we did it. We did a good chunk of Asia, not all of it, you know. And by the end of it, you start going, oh, I'm into this country's birds more than that country. Like, it's weird, because before that, but then I was like, oh, Japanese girls. Oh, I know what they're all about.
That's just, even living in LA, taking kids to school. There was a certain point when my girls went to a predominantly Korean school, where I'm like, whoa, Korean women are fucking smoke shows. Like, they're tall, they're real stylish.
Yeah, Korea is like a different. Asia's a weird place in the sense that there's two types of Asia. All right. Rich, affluent, clean. We've got it all together.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
your Hong Kongs and your Singapores.
Yeah.
Like the cleanest, most fancy fucking all Prada stores and Gucci and all that type of stuff everywhere and high rises and everything else. Yeah. And then you've got we don't have lines on the road. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Indonesia, Jakarta's fucking.
I squat and smoke.
Yeah. They don't know there's people driving around with woks on the back of their motorcycle running.
God.
And it's like they either have it sorted or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Japan's got it sorted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My analogy was there are places in Asia where personal space is respected, and then you go to places in Asia where it's like they'd put their fingers in your mouth if they could.
Right.
Like they're just like, no, this is what we do. And you're like I went from Japan to Vietnam, and it was such a fucking night and day experience where it was like at the train station, silent, no one speaking, to fucking Vietnam.
But you can see that within white cultures as well, though. Fuck me, man. Have you done a domestic flight in Canada? Fucking hell.
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God.
I've never
it's
flown.
silent. It's silent. Leaving Montreal, you're all just walking along silently. In America, everyone is loud and there's like noise. Yeah. And they all just go up and there's like, where's my sassy woman in a ill-fitting suit yelling at me about water?
Yeah.
Like going, please remove your laptop, please remove your water, please put everything into a bucket. If you don't put it in a bucket, you'll suffer. Like that. And Canada's just like, and your passport, please. And you think, and it's just all very quiet. Everyone goes through very, very quietly. It's a different mentality altogether.
The Omaha airport is different than the New York airport.
Yes.
I mean, now that I think about
it, it's a smaller place, Omaha.
Fucking LaGuardia is a piece of shit. I fucking hate that airport.
I think American airports aren't your finest thing that America does. You guys haven't got the best air. I see sometimes like when Trump says things like, I was just in Dubai and the airport was I can't do the impersonation. Airport was beautiful. There's beautiful, wonderful people and like those stuff. And I'm with him on that one, man. Yeah. The fucking airports are sucking.
Fuck. I've been to some of the airports I've been to, because I've Travel Channel for 9 years, and you're like, fuck yeah. And then you go to some, like this airport in fucking Tanzania was like, it reminded me of Florida in the 70s.
I'll tell you a weird airport story. I haven't told this story in years. I was dating this girl in Britain. We were living together. There was a friend of mine called Sarah. Nothing had ever gone on. Sarah was a comedy writer. She was in the comedy scene. She wasn't a comedian as such. She wrote and she did comedy reviews and stuff like that, but she also wrote for a magazine. Mm-hmm. And me and Sarah used to get along, and she was sort of a drinking buddy sort of person, but we were always in a group, never just the two of us there, we weren't close,
Yeah.
But so 2 days before, I got a gig in Mumbai, right? They have a comedy store there now.
For real?
Yeah, they have a comedy store opened by the London Comedy Store, and then they took it over themselves once they figure out how to book it. You know what I mean? And then they went,
in like a Hotel Rwanda kind of way.
Yeah. So they have it's a replica of the London Comedy Store,
really?
Top to bottom. Anyway, so before that, I was performing in the Sydney Comedy Store. I'd gone back. I was living in England in front of like 20 people. I was doing a weekend of gigs. They're opening up for someone else, right? I'm going to say this is 2003 or 4 or something. I've been doing comedy for a few years. Then I go to and there's an Indian guy afterwards, and he goes, "You must come out to India. Come out and do a show. Oh, people will love you." Like that. That's probably racist. I don't know.
By the way, it wasn't until just now that I realized Mumbai is not in Africa.
No.
That's how And by the way, I almost did a special called Live from Mumbai.
Yeah. Oh, you did the Hotel Rwanda thing. I thought he's gone off on a weird tangent.
I had no fucking idea. I was like, wait. And then you said in India, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot. Someone just did a special there. Nick Nusafaro is he your agent?
Yeah.
He went over there and he had to throw away his shoes. He said he walked around Mumbai for a day and he had to buy a new pair of shoes. It was like fucking.
Yeah, it's mayhem.
Oh yeah, so keep
you
going.
You don't have a nice car because all the cars have dents. There's no point having a nice vehicle.
Oh, I would
because the promoter was like a multi-millionaire and he's driving in a shit hot box and he's just smashing into things.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They're walking away like this. Anyway, so then this guy and I said, yeah, sure, man, I'll come and perform in India. And then he goes. Then I'm at the London Comedy Store 3 weeks later, and he's in the hallway. And he's like, "This must be fate." And I'm like, I'm not kidding. 2 weeks after that, I'm in fucking Mumbai.
Really?
Right? This guy had this gig, and he would have it. He'd have a show on Saturday, and it would be He goes, last week we had Engelbert Humperdinck, right? He would just have a different thing on that he would bring out an entertainer and people would trust him and they'd all come and see it because someone's been brought out here, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm having beers with Sarah, my girlfriend, a few other friends, and we're drinking and then my girlfriend, we come home, we have a fight. She's trying to fuck you, you're trying to fuck her. I'm like, I don't want to fuck her. I've never had a thought of, I don't want to, what are you talking about? I'm not trying to fuck her. I'm not trying to fuck her. Yeah. Right? And so we fought. And I stand by that. I wasn't trying to fuck her. Right? I get to Mumbai. It's like this airport. I'm sure it's much better now, but it was a fucking dump. There was like a guy without shoes throwing luggage around and fucking it was like outdoors. The carousel was like, and there was like a scene out of Indiana Jones. Like there was just fucking people holding chickens and shit. Right? Yeah. And so I get to Mumbai. I go to, there's one line for customs. I'm staying there after this long flight. I'm staying there, I'm getting to customs. And then I hear, Jim? And I turn around, it's my friend Sarah. And she's two people behind me. I just seen her a few days earlier and had this fight with my girlfriend. I go, what the fuck are you doing here? She goes, why didn't we even talk about this? We were just next to each other. Why didn't you mention, I'm going to India in a couple of days? It just never got brought up, right? She goes, I'm writing a column for InStyle magazine about a yoga retreat here that celebrities go to on the outskirts of Mumbai, right? And I go, that's crazy. And so we were texting each other and she goes, I got to get out. She's a smoker and a drinker at the time. I don't think she is now. But she goes, I got to get out of here. This is fucking killing me, right? Yeah. And she goes, where's your gig? And she sort of escapes the compounds of this yoga thing. And she came out and she saw my gig. Now, this is before camera phones and everything. And I started recording myself. I had a video hand camera. Mm-hmm. So she recorded my set. I get home. We used to go out that night, have a few drinks. I get home. Because I didn't have sex with her, I wasn't planning on having sex. She was my friend. There was nothing weird going on. I didn't know that she was going to be in Mumbai. It's just an extreme coincidence. Yeah. Right? I get home after this flight and she goes, how was the gigs? And I didn't even think about it. I went, it went all right. It was interesting. I said, I recorded it. And I went into the shower and my girlfriend turned on the thing. And there was Sarah's laugh and her holding the camera, God. Right? And I was in the shower and she just threw the video camera through the fucking, you fucking piece of shit. Oh my and I'm God. Like, my brain hadn't clicked. I'm like, what? She goes, you flew out there with Sarah. I go, no. Oh my God. No. So I was dumped, right? The whole lot. The only way.
And you didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. I was dumped. I got back with her. The way I had to do it was I had to have Sarah ring her, and then there better be an article about a yoga retreat in InStyle magazine in 2 weeks. If that article got cut by the editor, I was dead in the fucking water. If there wasn't an expose on that fucking retreat.
Oh my God, that's great. Oh, that's so fucking funny.
So I remember like InStyle's coming out next month. Come on, yoga retreat.
What's the thing for you that sells a story where you go, that's a story worth telling, or that's a good story? Where is it? Like, I know for me, if there's some sort of misdirection, or if I know that there's something I could plant at the beginning that I can harvest at the end, that's it for me.
The trick that the planting something at the beginning that you can put at the end, a nice callback is always important. I also think going off on tangents is very, from what I do. I go off on a tangent, and sometimes you write a joke and you go, I'll wedge that into that story. Mm-hmm. You go off on a tangent, then you come back to it. People always like that, but the tangent always has to have something to do with, you go, so I met my friend, blah, 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 and then this person, like that story I didn't do it in, but I mean, you go, and this person, I'll tell you a story. So you tell a little mini story about them, and that paints the picture. Now they know this person. Yeah. Because the biggest problem with like when old people are talking to you, and they start mentioning your cousin that you don't know, is you don't fucking know the person. And they don't bother to paint a picture of who they are or where they come from or what their fucking narrative is. Yeah. And so I think it's important I think the big difference between a great storytelling stand-up comedian and just your friends, just regular folk, civilians, right? The big difference is every other person in the world says the sentence, you had to be there. I never say you had to be there. No. Right? And I don't believe you have to say you had to be there.
Never.
If I'm telling you, you don't have to be there.
I can make you there.
Yeah, you're going to be there.
I can take you there.
It'll be fun. And people are like going, the funniest thing happened. All right, tell me.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Jenny was kicked out or something. And sometimes you can hear in the story, this is a great story. You know, so the guy snapped his dick and he had to go into his, anyway, you had to be there. The guy snapped his dick and had to go to the emergency room. Why do I have to be there? This is too good.
I would tell, I have a good friend who's my cameraman. I take him on the road with me, John Mans. He would tell a story that would be a great story, and he'd fuck it up so bad that I'd say to him, can I tell you how to tell your story? Like, it's a great story. Here's a story about a spitting cobra that they were filming. He's a cameraman. They were filming him in the desert. They had all these poisonous snakes. They were going to let him go and then film him, get him back in the thing. Well, they have one, which is a spitting cobra. They let it go, and they start to film it, and it scoots up and gets up under the rigging of the Jeep. And they're like, fuck, what do we do? And then he's like, someone look under. And they go, we can't look. If this cobra spits in your eyes, you fucking die. So they sat there all fucking night waiting for this cobra to leave the fucking Jeep. And then at the end, they're like, we've got to get out. It's nighttime in the desert. There's fucking animals out here. We got to ride home. They drove home in a Jeep with a spitting cobra in the rigging. One of the most terrifying. But like, I go, you got to stop telling it the way you tell it. Let me tell you how to tell it. Because I can hear some story. There was a story that happened. Our daughters tried to get mojitos at a bar mitzvah.
Right.
And
they're all adults now. It's a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it was a bar mitzvah. Adults, and they're like, the guy kept saying to them, virgin, and they didn't know what that meant. And so I just sprinkled in the story.
He said, I want to hope so.
See, that's exactly the joke. And my wife cut it off. No, he didn't say that. I go, baby, I'm just making the story better. I'm just saying virgin. And my daughter Georgia said, yeah, I'm going to wait until I fall in love. And the other one goes, I just suck dick. And my wife shut it off. I go, let me tell the story. I'm fucking good at this. Like,
I got a friend, Adam Bloom, who's one of the best.
I know Adam Bloom.
British comic.
Yeah.
He has a great story. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell it. I can say it. It's his story. But he was booked to do Ronnie Wood's daughter's wedding. I'm not going to tell the full beats because if he ever does the same. But the crutch of the story is before he was going to go on last after the speeches became the Rolling Stones doing a concert.
Can I tell you? I think I almost heard. Keep going. Yeah.
And then like Eric Clapton got up and sang, and then David Bowie sang, and then like Adam's at the front going, I can't do this. Ronnie Wood comes out and he's drunk, and he goes, and then Adam goes up and goes, Ronnie, about the show. And he goes, oh, you were great, man. You were great. And Adam took the money and left.
Oh, that's fucking great.
But there's a lot of beats that go along the way. And I'm like, man, I would love that to happen. I actively want stories to happen in my life. I actively, so when I did, I had the big piece about doing the Mariah Carey party.
Yeah.
All these stuff. When I did it, I could have left after my gig. I stuck around just hoping for a little bit of mayhem or a little bit of something to fucking kick off. And I think some people don't understand that, comics mentality of like, all right, this is going to suck, but maybe I'll get a story.
I get something out of this.
Yeah, maybe I'll get something out of this.
Yeah, I'm always about.
That's why this gig we're doing together now. So I'm not going to, there's art. The next day, there's a very famous artist playing in the same venue who's more of a kitschy type of thing.
Oof.
Yeah.
He's so up my alley.
Yeah. And I thought, Bert Kreischer and this guy, and so in my brain now, we're going to be hanging with him.
Oh.
Now, we have no connection to the guy except we were there the day before.
I am hardcore leveraging everything I have in my power to make sure that me and you walk away with a great story.
I think AEG or Live Nation are booking our gig. I don't know who's doing it, right? One of the two big companies are doing it. So whoever it is, if it's easy to do if they have the next show the next night.
I think they do.
Yeah, so then we're going to be fine.
Because he's doing shows before and after, but he's taking one night off. And so they reached out to us to see if we could.
We're taking up this guy's space.
Yeah.
And we're going to have his backdrop behind us.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I can't fucking wait. I might take mushrooms the day of the show.
Yeah, and it's are we bringing an opening act each, or are we just doing it?
I don't know.
I guess we bring someone to do because
we'll grab Forrest and Dave, maybe.
Yeah, one of yours, one of mine.
Yeah.
And the 4 white guy tour.
Oh,
you know?
We should. Al Jackson lives there. Ooh, now we're really telling everyone.
Al Jackson's a definite.
Al Jackson lives there. Shit.
He's a 100%er on the bill.
We are going to have so much fucking fun.
Yeah, Al Jackson lives there. All right, yeah, we're in.
Oh, that's going to be a fucking
now
blast.
people can figure this out very quickly.
I'm so excited when they call with the offer. I went, wait, hold on. Are you being serious?
I think you should close it out. I think I should go in the first half, but we'll debate that as we get closer. I feel like I'm gonna just have brought out a special, and I might be doing a bit of greatest hits work. I don't know. I'll be all right. It'll be fine.
I'll be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'll be. I think
I'm recording a new special that's coming. I'm doing one in November, and I assume it'll be.
Are you really?
I'm recording one in November.
Where?
In Boston.
Nice.
Just the same place. I've stopped worrying about the venue. I start going, what city and what? I did Bear, my most popular special in Boston, and so now it's like I literally decide my venues like this. I want to record in November, and then I go, where am I gigging in November? That's where we're doing it.
I'm a little. Joe actually said, like, you really think about that shit? I want to make sure that they haven't heard the material yet. It's the one thing I'm pretty adamant about.
No, well, they wouldn't have heard the material yet.
Yeah.
Yes, because it was on the tour anyway.
Yeah.
So Boston, I'm gonna do it in November, and
me, you, and Tom are all gonna have specials that come out around the same time.
Yeah, fucking everybody, man. There's so many, and I'm not allowed to say who it's with, but it's with. And
yeah. Yeah. What date do you tape?
I can't. It'll be on jimjeffries.com. They'll be there. If anyone wants to come, there'll be 2 days. I think I'm doing 4 or 5 shows in Boston. It'll be 2 of them will be the actual recordings, and
2 shows or 2 days.
2 shows in 1 day.
Yeah, I want to record 4 shows.
You want to record 4?
I do, because I feel like I would get so much. But I only use 1 show beginning to end because I've already structured the hour the way I want it structured.
Yeah, I liked my performance in my last special in my early show, and I felt I was a little sloppy in my second show, but the audience was much better, so I chose the second one anyway. But,
really?
Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, the specials. Yeah, I want to record. I want to do one in Australia one day, just one in, and I the arena ones. I always think about it, and then I'm like, do I want to do one in the like? Is that for your ego, or is it? Do the audience at home enjoy it? Because the Chappelle thing, that wasn't a great big room.
It's 3,000 seater.
Was that 3,000 seater?
I mean, it looked 3,000 to me.
Oh no, I thought it looked much smaller than that. I thought it looked.
Oh no, definitely. Well, I know that it wasn't the Tabernacle, and then one step up, it wasn't. I mean, he shot it in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was in Atlanta, and it was in front of there was an organ pipes.
I don't think it was the Tabernacle.
It was organ pipes behind him. Whatever has a big organ.
Oh, it was the Tabernacle.
Yeah.
He did it at the Tabernacle. I think that's 18. Maybe.
Yeah, I thought it was 2,000 and under.
Yeah.
And so that's like a nice sweet spot. But I'll be recording mine in front of 1,200 people.
I'm doing mine's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't. I mean, I would with kills. I don't know. But yeah, 1,200 seats is where I like to record. I think you don't sweat ticket sales at all, do you?
Oh yeah, you worry if they're going like sometimes you're down in blah 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 town, and you're like, what did I do wrong? Why am I down? Yeah, I do still sweat that, but I've started trying not to worry about that either. But then you have one where it's just like you go, you're sold out 3 months in advance in this city, and you're like, what? There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah,
I did one recently. Was my lowest ticket size was 700 or something, and the night before I did 50 miles down the road. I did 3,500, and you go, what the fuck happened there?
Sometimes I think there's a disconnect with theaters that are over 3,000 versus the theaters that are 1,200. Yeah. I think the theaters that are 1,200 have a much more hands-on marketing than the 3,000 seaters who are like, well, we're bringing in Barbra Streisand. That'll sell itself.
Yeah.
And so I remember I came into DC one year, and I was sitting next to the AEG guy. And he was like, what are you doing here? I said, oh, the improv. And he was like, oh, nice. He's like, you sold out? I said, yeah. And then he was like, Jim Jeffries sold out 2 shows, 3,500 seats each. I'm going to that one tonight. And I was like, in my head, I was like, there are 7,000 extra people that like comedy. I was like, that was like almost inspiring to go like, there's room and everyone for this table to eat.
Oh yeah, sometimes I show up and they're like, there's a big act over town. You're like, the only time I found there was a problem was I did I did Atlanta in the same casino, and Jerry Seinfeld was in one room and I was in the other.
Yeah.
I felt that did hurt me a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's plenty of room for everybody. I also think that these big acts that are out now, this wave that's happening at the moment of theater acts, I think it helps everyone out, because once people discover that they can have a really great night at comedy and it's not a hit and miss thing like it used to be. Right? They're going to start watching everybody. They're going to start.
And you know what else happened is a lot of these people that dabbled in comedy, what was happening in the mid to early 2000s, where guys that were just on TV decided they were going to do stand-up because they wanted to pay their mortgage.
Yeah. They
stopped doing that, or at least they continued to do it and have gotten better. And now people know there's like a stamp for comedy, and that if they go see Jim Jeffries, that is literally going to be one of the funniest nights of their lives.
I think all these theater acts are good. There's no one who's a theater act who isn't good.
That's the truth.
There's not one theater act where I'd go, oh, you're gonna have it's gonna be terrible. Every single one of them, even if they're not my cup of tea, they're all put on a good show.
Yeah,
and it's any comic who can hold an audience's attention for over an hour and a half is good, even if you don't think they're great. That's a skill in itself.
Yeah,
holding someone's attention for that long. But you know, what I found now with me is I've become really, really shit at 10 minutes. I panic when I go up at the Comedy Store or something. I'm like sweating backstage, and I used to be so good. I used to be so good at clubs. I used to be the king of 15. I used to go out there and just murder for 15. Yeah. And now I'm just like, I've got this long-winded tale. This takes a long time to get. The punchline's good. You all have to focus.
That's the meal I make on the road. Is a good, solid 10-minute story.
Yeah,
and to do it in the clubs, it's like, fuck.
Oh yeah, you have to shorten it up, shorten, cut, and cut, and cut. And also, you can come in with a couple of quick, snappy jokes at the beginning, and then get into your story. And now you're like, I don't have a chance for this snappy story. So at the moment, my show is there's a 40-minute story about me being lactose intolerant. My whole special is going to be about lactose intolerance. I'm going to call my special Intolerant. People are going to think that it's going to have more layers to it. But it's just really just a dairy problem.
Do you think you'll end up talking about the passing of your mom in one of these specials?
I think that might be the next special after that. I think that'll take a little bit of time and distance to get the material down. You know, what you learn, if you had any parents, your parents are both alive? Your parents are both alive. Oh, you mentioned that your parents still have sex. But
but one's dead.
Yeah, but mum's dead. They still have sex on the regular. When your parent passes, there's a few things that happen, because you're not sad in the same thing of like, it's not like a teenager or someone in their 20s or a child passing or someone dying suddenly in an accident or something. It's your own immortality. You're like, I'm next. I thought that was miles away, and now I can foresee my own death. I'm like, okay, this isn't, because you know they're the only constant in your life. Your mother's the only constant. She was there fucking from the time you were conceived to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then when she's gone, you're like, fucking hell, there's no one who's known me as well as that person.
No buffer deaths.
Yeah. There's no buffer deaths in between. When a grandparent dies, you're like, you know, and
then you're like, that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I loved them. I'm sad. But when your parents die, you do start to question your own immortality. And I was worried at one stage. I was like, what if I don't cry? What if I'm that asshole? I was on the plane going, what if I don't cry? You know what I mean? And I fucking cried like a baby. I cried like a fucking baby for a couple of days.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then
did you cry with your brothers?
I cried with my brothers for the first time. We all cried together in a room. Wow. Never seen us all cry together in a room. And then I did a eulogy. I cried. I'll tell you a story that I thought, okay, so my father, I said, Dad, I'll pay for the funeral. My dad went, no. It was some level of pride that he had this money put aside and he was going to do this and he was going to see it out to the end, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, all right, well, I'll pay for the reception afterwards, you know, all the food and alcohol and stuff in the reception. And Dad said, okay, great. And so we went into the funeral home. Now, there's a beautiful funeral home in the middle of Sydney overlooking trees and valleys, and it's lovely. And the funerals, it's kind of like being at like the Edinburgh Festival or Montreal or something like that, it's like, what room are they playing? There was 5 rooms.
Really?
Going up to a 2,000-seater all the way down to a 30-seater.
Yeah.
Right? We put my mum in the nice 70-seater.
Yeah.
And then we had 120 people with standing. That's a lot better than going into the 200 and not filling it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
It's the same as a gig, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same.
And I remember
we were thinking about adding a second show, but we thought, you know what?
Yeah, standing room only. Have them pouring out the door. That's what you want for a good funeral, right? And so I was like going, I know seating arrangement. I know what we need, like this. Right? They have the 3 plans at the funeral home. They had one there's the $6,985 plan, which that was the figure. I remember it distinctly, 85. Well, just go 99. Don't insult me. But then if you go 99, you go, just go 7. But the 85 makes you think, well, there is some money being saved there.
Yeah. They're cutting corners where they need to cut corners.
That was your cheapest one. Then there was a 10,985. And then there was a 16,985, right? And these were the 3 brackets. Now, inside those brackets, you can have upsells. Like when you buy a car and you go, I'll have the nicer stereo and get me the heated seats and the, you know what I mean? So you can do all that. So the first one, we were, all right, what's the 6,985? And they go, oh, that one, the coffin would be made out of corkboard. Like a board where you put things on, like corkboard. And we're like, corkboard? Yeah, it's just a basic coffin, a biodegradable one that would just corkboard.
Giving me panic
and so
right
I'm
now.
like this. I'm looking at it, and Dad's got his set, but he budgeted like $9,000 was his budget. And he's like, corkboard. And I went, it could be nice, you know, people could pin letters on it, things that little messages that they like. You could put photos of the grandchildren along the side, you know, nice thing. And so, and they go, and you're allowed one photo that you bring in to put at the end, no music. There's someone who gives a little speech, one eulogy, and like this is like the this is like the you fucking hate this person funeral.
Yeah, we're gonna get in and out. This is gonna be tight.
Yeah.
Corkboard, one speech, one photo, and then we're done.
No music.
No music.
Right, so we went, no, we won't be going that. All right, what's the 9,800 and whatever? Oh, the 10,980, right? And they go, you get a coffin, you get a flower arrangement, you get to put up as many photos as you want, you get 2 songs, 2 eulogies, and you get a person who you can have a minister, a religious minister, or a non-denominational person come and talk, and you're all out in 25 minutes or something like that, right? And then the second one was you have dancing girls and a fucking this, and you have coffin bearers bring it in and all this crap, right? Yeah. And so we're like, all right, middle plan. Now this is the speed that we picked my mother's funeral. Okay, so here's a selection of coffins. That one. And they're trying to go, maybe if we want the bronze handles with them, that one. Okay. Now the flowers. She likes pink. That one. Right? And then they go, now music. She wants Wind Beneath My Wings. And my dad slid over a bit of paper and here's a poem she wants the granddaughter to read. Right?
Yeah.
So here's a poem. Here's Wind Beneath My Wings. We want that coffin, that flowers. Done. And the lady was like, we just rolled over. Me and my brothers and my dad just rolled over. Like she's like trying to do upsells, and she's like, okay, all right. That's
would you guys like some chords? No, we're good. We're good.
No, like that, right? And then because I was paying for it, out came the food menus for the reception. We're a fight and shoot for 40 minutes, right? Just of like my dad going. I go, Dad, I'd like to have the prawns on the sticks. I like the prawns on the sticks. And I went, Dad, it's a funeral home. I don't know if they're going to have the freshest seafood here. Maybe we should just go for the chicken skewers over the prawn skewers and the thing. And we were fighting. No. What about party pies, like meat pies in Australia? I love a party pie.
I love a meat pie.
I love a meat pie, right? And then my dad's like this. They're more for kids' parties. And but Dad, I haven't had it. I'm like this. I haven't had a meat pie forever. I've been living in America. I'd like to have party pies at my mum's funeral. Is that too much to ask? I'm paying for it. Let me have fucking party pies. Right? So we get into an argument. We all said we're going 40 minutes about sandwich toppings and what we're doing. If we should have beer and spirits or beer and wine and blah, blah, blah. This lady walks next door. And we're all arguing. And she comes in and she's got that funeral director voice. And she comes in and goes, I'm ever so sorry. But if you could all just quieten it down. I know you're grieving, but if you could quieten it down just a little bit. We have a family next door who are doing a viewing. Right? So there's a family next door seeing their dead relative for the first fucking time, and where they're going, party pies!
I want meat pies!
Right? Right, like that, right? And my dad doesn't have his hearing aid in. That's why I'm yelling at him, because he can't fucking hear anything.
Yeah.
My dad goes to this woman, what? And we're like, Dad, you have to be quiet. Why? There's a dead body next door and people are they're looking at their relative like that, right? Oh, you think they'd fucking soundproof this place a little bit better? So there was moments of sort of funny little, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'll do material about it. It will probably take a year before I'll start. No, I don't know if those two stories are strong enough, but they're just the ones that really happen.
Yeah.
There's more stuff that happens sort of, you know, me and my brother almost got into a punch up the next day.
Really?
You know, because tensions are high.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Tensions are high. And he was teasing me and I was like, it was not the fucking time to fuck it. You know what I mean? And then but here's the thing about my father. My mother always berated my dad. Right? My dad, whenever he opens his fucking mouth, my mother would go, shut up, Gary. Shut up. Like that, right? In the last few years, I'd go, can you leave him the fuck alone? Let him talk.
Yeah.
You know, you're always yelling at him to tell him to shut up. Just leave him. Let him talk. He's fucking 78. Let him talk. Like that, right? Anyway, within a day of my mother dying, we realized what an important person she was in the ecosystem of our fucking lives.
Fucking brilliant.
My dad needs to be told to shut up all the time. It turns out that my dad has a lot of out there views, and
that is fucking hilarious.
And now we're dealing with Gary Unleashed, right? Right? My dad's standing there with my girlfriend's in the back of the car, who's of Indian descent. We're sitting in the back of the car. My dad's telling me about how Trump's right to get rid of those immigrants. There's too many brown immigrants in the fucking country. Right? Sitting next to my brown girlfriend, who's an immigrant, in front of his immigrant son. Yeah. My dad hasn't been to America since the 1970s or some shit. And he's there going, oh, yeah, Trump will fix all this stuff and bloody these immigrants, they should lock up the borders.
Oh, that's so fucking cut to you in the car, subtly crying. And then, are you okay? I just really miss mom.
I really miss mom.
I need someone to shut him the fuck up.
Yeah. Someone to shut him the fuck up. He's coming out to hang with me. And now that mum's dead, they can never come visit because my mum can never get on a plane. She's too big and she was poor health. So my old man's coming out for Christmas.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it'll be good. He's coming out for like 5 weeks. He's rocking it out, right?
Oh, nice. Stay with you?
Yeah, he's staying with me, right? So he wants to see his grandson and all that type of stuff. And so he's already like this. We can go to, he's been reading up. He goes, we can go to a American football game. We can go see American basketball. It calls everything the American.
Yeah. I went to one of those. I went to one of the AFL games in Melbourne.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went to one of those, and then we went to, I had a lot of unpopular views. What time do I got to get you out of here?
I got an appointment at 2 I got to get to. So.
Okay. Well, let me see. All
good. We're all good. I got another 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, in Burbank. So it's not
I had a joke that did not go well, but I said, what is it? Is AFL the one that's in, AFL's the like softer one, right?
It's the catching kicking game that's more in Melbourne.
And there's like 12 fucking teams.
12 teams. It's the most watched sport per capita on earth. For the population, they sell out 100,000 seats to these fucking games.
We went to one that was fucking massive. And I was like, I can't believe that any able-bodied Australian hasn't played professional sports. Because there's so many fucking teams that like anyone over 6 feet probably should be a professional athlete at some point in their life.
Yeah. They don't get paid a lot.
Yeah, I know. I had a meat pie there.
I have it. You get meat pies there. Yeah. My dream is to earn enough money one day to buy back the North Sydney Bears. My team as a child, they got rid of in 2000, and I'm fucking gutted about it. It's a rugby league team. But this is the thing is, I'm mates with Russell Crowe, and he brought, when he did Gladiator and all that, his team was kicked out of the league. He fucking brought them back.
Shut up.
Souths. He owns a rugby league team.
Shut up.
If you ever hang with him, he'll always give you like a fucking jersey or a hat. You know, so it's like Tom Cruise rocks around in like a South Sydney Rabbitohs hat.
Oh, really?
And so all the Hollywood celebrities own some South Sydney apparel.
That's fucking brilliant. Because and then everyone sees that, it fucking puts the ups. My goal has always been when like 1982, 1980, maybe 1979, when Burt Reynolds was at his fucking height, he brought back these all yellow Florida State uniforms and bought them for the team.
Right.
And then they'd wear them, and it was like a nod. It was Burt Reynolds' uniform that he bought for the team. I would love to buy one uniform that I designed for the Florida State football team.
We have enough money now
to
sponsor a little league team.
We definitely have enough money.
We have enough money now to sponsor one each and have them in the same league.
Oh my God. Why are we not?
And you're saying you don't know how to spend your money?
Jeez, that's where I could definitely fucking put my money. Holy shit. I could definitely get into that.
I reckon I could get other comics to get on board as well.
And we all just we design their uniforms.
The Seguras versus the Jefferies versus the Burrs versus the fucking...
Oh, how fucking brilliant was that?
My son's league, they play over here. Man, you could get your names in there. You just have to buy the uniforms.
That's all you got to do.
It would be an outlay of $2,000. You could get your name on there for a season.
Oh my God, I would love that. We have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to do that. We got to start a group text. Me, you, Burr, Segura. There's a fucking... Have you done Segura's podcast yet?
I have not, no.
Oh, you got to
I don't know him that well, but I'd like to do it. I like it. I think he's a great comic.
I'll do a 3-way text with the two of you guys.
Okay, great.
So that you can do his podcast. That would be fucking brilliant. I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And your son is 6 now?
6, yeah. The little league teams are... What they do is they at the moment they give them like... One team is the Mets and one team is the Cubs and no one's the Dodgers or the Angels. Everyone's got to be something else and they play for that team. But then the next thing, they get to have sponsorship on their jerseys.
Oh, fuck. That's why I could so get... And by the way, my daughters would be so pissed if I went to all these little league games that my team was playing.
But also, we could just put a picture of our heads on each jersey.
Oh, my jersey would be a shirtless print of my chest. It would be my nipples, my chain on there. Oh.
But it won't add to the Hollywood elite and the rinks of kids and the adrenal glands being, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It's like, can you imagine the conspiracy theories that would open up? We're just enthusiastic about Little League Baseball. When the truth is we want to own a sporting team and we're just not rich enough.
Yeah, we just want to own a sporting team. Set up our own fucking little private box over on the side to watch a game, invite friends over.
Yeah, friends over. Oh. Like, do it like Moneyball, start making trades. They play in the same field every day. It won't make a difference.
That would be fucking awesome. We have to do that. Yeah. Dude, we're going to have so much fucking fun when we do our gig. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I vote we bring in Entourage and we make a fucking weekend of it and do it properly.
Oh, I'm definitely breaking even that weekend. That's the way I'm looking at that.
We should look into private. We should do it
the way Chappelle does. I hear he travels next level.
He just flies. He lives in Ohio, which is madness.
Yeah.
I only found out he was a Muslim the other day. He doesn't feel like a religious guy.
He's a Muslim?
Yeah, he's on Wikipedia. Then that's got to be true.
Yeah. Oh, someone put that I'm a Muslim on Wikipedia.
Well, you got a beard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in. you got
a
a bun me sitting in my fucking fridge. I'm gonna murder this afternoon.
Yeah, you eat the pork. See, pork's one that I'm thinking of quitting. The girlfriend's gotten to me on pork.
Do you have a cardiologist?
No. It's not a health thing. It's just I haven't got one. Should I get one? Should I need one of those?
You're friends with one. My cardiologist is your sons went to school together.
How do you know that?
He said the first time I met him, he says, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a comedian." And he goes, "Oh, I got a comedian. Our sons go to school together." And I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I think he's a drinker. I think he parties. And I went, "Okay, that's a short list. Give me another asset." And he goes, "Australian?" I go, "Jim Jeffries." And he goes, "Yeah, how do you know?" I was like, "He's got a son." I think it makes sense. And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know, because I got Bill into getting a cardiologist. It's the best thing you can do because it's you get in front of ever having a stroke or a heart attack. You just get in front of it."
Right.
So I got Bill, my cardiologist. I said, called my guy. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna set up Bill Burr with you. Can you just give him all the tests you gave me?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so I fucking shared their numbers. I said, "Bill, call this guy tomorrow."
All right. I mean, I'll set you up. I'd be interested to know that. My fear is come out with a bad report.
No, you can't. That's the whole point. Is that he goes, "Hey, you got high blood pressure. We're gonna get you on blood pressure pills. Then you don't have to worry about having a stroke. Oh, you got high cholesterol. We'll get you on cholesterol pills." For me, I went in recently and he was like, "You got to lose weight. You're starting to get a fatty liver. You got to lose weight." And I was like, "What about drinking?" He goes, "You can drink. You just got to lose weight." And so now I'm on a strict diet. I'm doing intermittent fasting and working out, trying to lose weight.
I do the fasting.
Yeah, to get
How
on
often
tour.
do you fast?
16 hours every day.
16 hours every day.
Yeah. So
I fast fully 2 days a week.
Oh, whoa.
I'm on a fasting day today.
Oh, really?
I always feel my breast's no good on a fasting day because I haven't had anything to settle my stomach.
Oh, I start getting into it. Like I do 16 hours. I do from 8 p.m. till noon, and then I can eat afternoon. But then I start going, I'm going to push it till 1. And now I'm like, I bet I could push it till 2. Ooh, UTA's calling. Do you think I booked something?
I don't know. Maybe they're listening to this.
Hey, Bert, I've got Nick Dusaforo for you.
Oh.
All right. Yeah.
This is our agent.
This is our agent.
One moment.
Yeah, sure.
Ask him if we're allowed to tell anyone where the gig is.
Okay. I love when they get on. He's like, oh, he's right here. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Nick,
Bert.
hey, Nick, I'm doing a podcast with Jim Jeffries. You're on the podcast.
Hey, Nick.
Come on, you're kidding me. Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing great.
Good.
We haven't really told anyone where our gig is, but we're talking about how much fun we're going to have at our gig.
We don't know if we're allowed to announce the gig yet. Are we allowed to announce the gig?
Not yet, I don't.
Not yet. Okay, well, we haven't.
We've left a lot of hints.
We all want to go a day early.
Well, we want to go a day early and stay a day late, and we're thinking about flying private.
Save me a seat.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Yeah.
We've got people going.
Yeah. Is this something? Did you call for anything important?
Well, I didn't call to be on the podcast, but this is fun.
Yeah.
You want to call me later?
Yeah, I'll call you later.
Yeah. Imagine if this is when you're dropped by your agency.
Yeah.
Good luck. Call me. You can both call me later.
Okay. Bye.
Wow, he's ringing. That means something good's coming.
It's the video I posted yesterday. I think ticket sales probably boosted.
Oh, right.
I probably want to add shows.
Does your podcast do well in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm touring Europe in December. I'm doing the O2. No, December 3rd.
Doesn't do that well. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're doing the O2?
I'm doing the O2. It's going to be my biggest European
Holy
gig ever. I'm doing
fuck.
the O2, yeah. And I'm doing the Heineken Arena in Amsterdam, and I'm doing the O2 in Glasgow and the O2 in Birmingham as well. So, and I'm doing
Holy
Dublin,
shit, Jim.
Dublin, Czech Republic. Israel is I've always sold well in Israel, and so I'm going back to do Israel again. I do that in the round, Israel.
Holy shit, man.
They always want religious jokes. It's so fucking weird, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they've got it shoved down because every culture has a counterculture.
Yeah.
And they've just like they're in the home of religion.
Yeah.
And they're just like, do some atheist stuff. That's all they fucking want to hear.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
They want to hear that it's all
the
bullshit.
O2 Arena, and did you ever think?
Man, it killed Michael Jackson. That was his last venue he was going to do. You know, like at the moment I'm doing prep shows at the Staples Center to get ready.
Yeah.
With all my dancers. And I said to them the other day, I said, maybe we should do more with a backdrop or something. And they go, if you want, you know, I'm like, but it's, yeah, it'll be pretty cool. I did the Hammersmith Apollo twice, which is sort of similar numbers to doing the O2 once, but I'm doing the O2 once. And I think once I do
what does that seat? Like 20,000?
15,000.
Wow.
I think it can go up to 20, but with the something with the stage being where it is and all that sort of stuff. But I think I'm up to, I think I've sold like 11, like I think I've got like 4,000 tickets left or something.
Oh, well, I'll cover those.
Yeah,
hey, guys.
You know what I mean? So get on
to tickets.
Yeah, get onto that. It's not till December. I'm sure there'll be a little rush sort of the week before, but I am looking forward to it. And also, my girlfriend's family are going to meet me for the first time there. So that'll be.
Oh wow,
that's a good first meet.
That's
right?
a great first meet, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Jeffries. Yeah. So I'm dating an Indian. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna love when I do the head wobble.
Oh man, we're gonna have a fucking blast. We're gonna have a blast, dude. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks
man.
for having me. Anytime. I live just down the road.
Yeah. I'll anytime. We'll do it again before. We'll do it to announce the date.
And come over for a barbecue soon. We'll do some Beyond Burgers.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. We'll do another podcast to announce the date when we know.
Yeah.
And when we're allowed to announce it. And
people, I'm sure they're going to
figure it out.
They're going to figure it out, but we don't know the date.
Yeah,
we don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, hey, thank you, man.
We could both be dead by then. I've got to see a cardiologist.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.